Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rinnegan Manifesto, and thank you very much for giving me the chance to share something I'm very passionate about, which is to helping you not get fucking stuck in the gym. So, here's the short deal of it. Here's the fucking quick and fast, the hot and ready of the deal. In Naruto, there's a character called Pain. Here he is. The actual Pain is behind all these fuckers controlling them. You can't see him in this picture, but there are 6 bodies, each of them have a unique ability, and together they work synergistically to take down shitters and to achieve their goals. Now, similarly, you have 6 main areas of training variables, that training and non-training variables that affect your ability to progress in the gym, and if your progress stalls, at least one of these is being neglected, at least one of these paths has been fucked. So you do need to fix it, and I'm going to be showing you how to fix it. This is the blueprint. The way you know I'm being for real right now is I'll tell you basically when I'm messing up with these as well, because I know for a fact that some of these I am currently messing up. So here is my interpretation of everything that you need to worry about and everything that you need to think about outside of your training and also in the gym to make the most of your fucking whatever progress you want to make, whether you want to be a calisthenics athlete, big powerlifter, or whatever. I think these are pretty universally applicable traits. This is obviously inspired by the Berserk method by Bald Omni Man. It's been almost 3 years since I watched the original, the 2022 version. There was a 2021 version, but by that time I didn't know what the gym was. So it's been fucking 3 years almost since I've discovered the Berserk method, and that's been super inspiring, and I've been wanting to make one of these for a very long time. So here we go. Here's our table of contents. The Deva Path is all your mindset stuff, specifically the intensity. The Asura Path is everything programming related. The Human Path is the mistakes that we make. It's kind of poetic. It's like, oh, we're all human. We all have fucking setbacks. I'll explain how these are relevant to the Paths of Pain. The Animal Path is going to be the gear that we use. So the straps, belt, and anything that we keep in our gym bag. The Preta Path is going to be the content we consume, because the Preta Path absorbs fucking chakra, just like we absorb the energy and the contents of whatever video we choose to watch. And the Naraka Path is our why that keeps us going perpetually, because in the show it summons a big fucking thing and it revives people. Let's get started with the Deva Path. This has the potential to be the most destructive, and also, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting things, which is mindset and intensity and how you get hyped, which is why I've attributed him to Yahiko, the main fucking guy that you think of when you look at Pain. He looks very cool, and he is very strong, even on his own. Even when all his other buddies are gone, mindset can take you a very long way. But obviously you need the others as well for maximum efficiency. Here we are. On heavier lifts, when you're lifting maximally, 1 rep maxes or 90% of 1 rep maxes, or like fucking, hold on, sorry, I have to keep moving the camera. We'll get the hang of this. Can it move? There we are. Thank you so much. So, you need to become something completely different than your usual self, than your usual personality. You can't go directly from joking with your friends to fucking doing your 1 rep max weighted dip or weighted pull up or deadlift. You need at least a couple of seconds, if not a couple of minutes, if not like a fucking hour a day, to get yourself in the mood for a truly maximal attempt. Now, these shouldn't be done often then, right? Because if you need like fucking an hour to get yourself into like this ritualistic like trance, obviously you don't want to be doing that every day, because that can burn you out. But just keep in mind that you do need to get yourself very hyped, that you do need to dig deep and find your oh my goodness, what could it be? Like your fucking being friend zoned, your rejections, your fucking family issues. Maybe don't use those, because that's a little bit too deep. But use whatever you can. The fucking rage, the fucking whatever. Be careful, right? Be careful, because this can turn you into a not nice person. But in the beginning, to get that fucking hype especially, you need to go look through negative places. Go fucking look at negative spaces. As long as you don't turn into like a racism or fucking sexism thing where you're like, oh yeah, fuck this specific ethnic group, then it's probably fine. You can be like, oh yeah, fuck this girl for rejecting me. I'll show her by lifting this weight. Or oh yeah, fuck this guy for making fun of me. I'll show him. That's the sort of stuff you need to dig into. And if you deal with it healthily, then it'll fucking go away after that, and you won't have to worry about becoming a horrible human being. Obviously, know that you're not exactly guts when you're doing this in the gym, right? So don't be that one old guy who is pressing the machine press with 50 pounds like It's like, okay, sure, you can make the noises that you need to, do whatever, but just keep it in mind, once you're done with the lift, pull yourself back a little bit. So, Berserker armor bracing. Let me show you something. Fucking good amount of fitness influencers don't seem to know. So, here I am. You need to look like you're fucking fat in order to brace. So, now I'm like a soda can, right? I can put out, like, I'm not worried about, like, showing this on camera. You can look up other videos where I look way leaner. And basically, you need to take in a lot of air to the point where you look fat, to the point where it's, like, uncomfortable. Uncomfortable to show, like, other people. Like, you don't want to be seen like this, because, like, you want to be seen like this turbo fucking V-taper, like, aesthetic, whatever. You don't want to be seen like, what is this melted ice cream physique, bro? But you do need to brace, right? And your core expands when you do that. Just try to get, like, as I do it right now, I try to do it, try to get some of the air into your lower back as well. So, when I say berserker armor bracing, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, basically, have a mindset accompanied with this brace, right? So for a deadlift, I do a kind of Brendan Teeth style where I, like, roll my traps forward, and then I fucking do an over-under hand grip, and then I go down, set my brace, and then I could just fucking rip the weight off the floor. So where this comes from is that I used to listen to, like, the Guts X Pop Smoke edit. I'm just gonna go out, lay all these things out there, go in the comments like, this fucking cringe guy thinks he's him. Yeah, when you're lifting, you need to become something else that isn't your usual personality. So, to get the maximal strength. So, I would get that song playing, and it's like, it's a clip from the Berserk 2017 anime where it's like, what in the world is going on with this armor? The moment I put it on, I can flicker goon for 2 hours. And so it's that, and then the beat drops, and you feel really, really cool. So you time that, you time your brace, and you just feel completely indestructible, and then you lift your weight. So, learn bracing, and attach it to the mindset from earlier. Intensity is very important. You need to find your own source of intensity. I can't really say it for you. For everyone, it's different, but for everyone, there are some commonalities, some common themes. So, there's usually a big passion. I'm just saying there's some common themes because I can't, like, they're not exactly coming to mind right now. I know, not very professional, but I mean, I can try thinking them briefly. Intensity and anger. Yeah, Eric Bugenhagen seems to be, like, kind of, like, a little bit nihilistic, and it's like, when you listen to his kind of earlier videos, it's like, he has this dynamic where it's like, oh yeah, the world means nothing, so might as well fucking do something, might as well lift some heavy shit. So that's what he does. There are a lot of people who are like, fuck this world, I'm 5'6", I don't like being 5'6", I'm gonna lift weights. That works very well. Works even better if you're the shorter you get. There are people, again, who just, I don't know, got rejected, got made fun of in a friend group. Intensity can also come pretty naturally if you just train a martial art, or if you just done physical labor, or if you've just done a sport, right? Because all of these things are way harder than weight training, except if you're, like, complete fucking balls to the wall, making weight training as difficult as it possibly is. Effective martial arts, or effective training for sports, I think is way harder than, like, the minimum effective weight training that you need to do just to grow some muscle. So, people who come from these backgrounds, or maybe you're from, like, Ukraine, Moldova, fucking Romania, Serbia, Hungary. I don't know, if you're from the Balkans, you're used to a level of intensity already. So, around that area, Eastern Europe. So, you can bring that from there. Everyone gets their intensity from somewhere. If you don't have it from somewhere, I'd be careful from getting it from the internet. It can help, but I don't think it should be your foundation, and I think that's a missed opportunity. So try to discover some form of intensity, whether it's like a pride for your country. I know it doesn't sound good, right? It sounds like it's going to become a fucking... Is the word Nazi demonetized? I don't know. It sounds like pride for your country sounds like a Nazi thing, but it's like... Oh, what's it called? Like, you can be like a Swedish guy being like, fuck yeah, Carolus Rex Sabaton. I don't know if they actually listen to Sabaton in Sweden, but you can be like, oh yeah, the Swedish Empire, yeah. You can be Italian and be like, oh fuck, those Romans were cool guys. You can be Greek and you can be like, yes, my people were very gay, which is very nice. You can be like Hungarian and be like, Well, we didn't really win any wars, so you can be Romanian and be like, fuck yeah, our people have Transylvania. There's a sense of like nationalism that's healthy. You can be American and be like, fuck yeah, we abolish slavery, big gold, land of the free, home of the brave. Cool people all around town. So whatever you need to bring out your own intensity. I don't want to get into politics or history in this fucking gym video, but that's just where it spiraled off to. Now, along with this comes with a passion. This is going to get touched more, and this is going to get touched more. That sounds nice. This is going to get touched on more in a later chapter, but like in the last section. But this is just the phrase that I always used. So I ran a program called Bull Mastiff by Alex Bromley that fucking took me to intermediate squat and intermediate overhead press, and bench and deadlift are a little bit lagging, even though I should be built for deadlifting. I don't know. So both those are a little bit behind intermediate. So I went 315 squat, 135 overhead press. I've done a Smith deadlift with 380, and I've done a Smith bench with 210. So 405 would be an intermediate deadlift, 225 would be an intermediate bench. I kind of embarrassed on that. My barbell lifts, the best I've tried is 345 deadlift and fucking 185 bench. The 185 bench fucking flew up, obviously. Like, yeah, I know I'm capable of more than that right now, but I have a peculiar situation where I'm going to a Planet Fitness and therefore I can't test my barbell lifts out as frequently. You know, just special occasion when I get access to a barbell. So, anyways, tangent aside, well, this video is supposed to be long, so it's for tangents. The phrase I would tell to myself before like the fourth set of squats, because it can be a very, very high volume program. Bull Mastiff is fucking high volume program towards the middle. I would tell myself, you wanted to become a Bull Mastiff, and now that's not an intentional misspelling. I mean, that is an intentional misspelling. It's not a mistake. Essentially, I thought it was Bull Mastiff. I thought it was a play on words because you would gain mass. Nice in frame. Hold on, can I lat? I wonder how much of the frame can a lat spread cover? Fucking how to be cool tutorial. Take notes, guys. That's a little bit, but basically, I thought it was a play on words because the program was supposed to make you massive, like have mass, and it's a Bull Mastiff, which is a very, very nice dog. But no, the program is just Bull Mastiff with one S, but it's still cool. So I would tell myself, you wanted to become a fucking Bull Mastiff, you wanted this. And that's what I would embody there. When you said you need to become something else on heavier lifts, I would embody the Bull Mastiff, a big fucking stocky dog, just like a thick, powerful, little bit lethargic, but powerful. And yeah, that's just what I would embody, and that's what would really help me. And the passion came back to it because I was just like, okay, fuck this, fuck my shitty ass squat. I don't like how weak I am on all these lifts. I'm still kind of weak, but I've gotten a lot stronger since then. Since that thing of like, okay, I'm gonna become a Bull Mastiff. So that's very nice. Horse cocking is an Eric Bugenhagen term. This is also, you can think about it this way. It's just throwing weight around for the sake of it. It's really fun. It's really cool. I personally can't use horse cocking as a base builder. I can't use it to build out my base. I can only use it to kind of display strength or like test it, or like when I get particularly bored of training and then I fucking display some feats of strength. So horse cocking is very, very good, very, very cool. If that helps you, that's amazing. For me particularly, I can't use it long term, but yeah, that's the mindset. The mindset is just like hoisting hefty loads, which is the opposite of like the cable lateral raise / iliac pull down, whatever shit that's becoming less and less popular, but was very popular at a time. Horse cocking is basically the exact opposite of that, like a clean and press or like a snatch that's just like a muscle snatch, and you just do it in one fluid motion. Now, the proper use of music. You need to have certain songs that are so hyped that you don't listen to them otherwise throughout the day. This is something I learned from Natural Hypertrophy. Probably at the time when I was writing these slides, which was quite a while ago now. I had something else planned for this thing, the proper use of hype music. Basically, the most important thing that you need to remember that I haven't forgotten is that there are some songs that you need to not listen to almost any other time. Maybe if you're like swerving with the boys at the freeway at night, just like driving very, very fast, sure, you can get hyped there, but that's like not very safe. And if you get hyped there, you may take risks. That like if you take risks in the gym, like the worst that can happen is the worst that can happen is you die, but like usually very bad injuries are rare, very bad car accidents kind of less rare than gym accidents, so even avoid them there. So essentially what I'm getting at is get the very, very top of your line hype songs for just PR attempts in just the gym. Let me get my Spotify open. Basically, my hype playlist is called Mogging. Hopefully it opens on this monitor. Yeah, it does. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see what is on my hype playlist over here. If I can see Mogging. Please? Okay, there we are. So I have things like Twilight of the Thunder God from Sabaton, which is a very, very explosive, like, concentric only song. Like, that's the perfect way to pull up song. It goes like, the concentric twin, his balls are open wide, the serpent strokes up and down, or like something. And it says, basically, it builds up to a part where it's like, Thor, Odin's son, protector of man. I'm not a singer yet, so I can't exactly replicate. Ooh, what the fuck did I do there? I'm not a singer yet, so I can't exactly replicate the song, especially Joachim, especially when I've been talking fast like this for a while. Big change. So, Twilight of the Thunder God is very cool. Holding Out for a Hero, just because I need a hero, Eric Bugenhagen is cool. And then some Beast in Black songs like Die by the Blade. I think Die by the Blade would be the #1 all-time most hyped song of all time for me. That's the one I try to listen to only during very, very big PR attempts. There's Prophecy of Ragnarok, yeah, that's cool. There's Blood of a Lion, Eternal Fire. Ocean Deep, that's a fucking big one. Vindalva by Vardruna, that doesn't really belong there. I should probably change that. They basically all build up to very, very different points. And, I mean, to very, very similar points. Whoops, I should maybe take a second to recenter myself because I'm talking all over the place. It's okay, because I'm excited for this. So, these hype songs all build up towards a specific point. Some of them build up and they're consistent. Some of them build up to a peak and then fucking drop. Some of them are like bam pow and it's like slowly crest down. But these are my most hype songs. Now, less hype songs are kind of for cruising, right? There's also the not listening to music in the gym, which makes you more present and more mindful, which is also nice. But essentially, save these hype songs for when you actually need them, and have some more like cruise stable songs, like vibe songs, not necessarily that are feel-good songs, but that are like you can still focus proper intensity to, maybe just that have a more steady beat. Now, here we are with the more up-to-date, more like niche things, because like these things people kind of know. People know to brace. People know to brace. Oh, I have a whole section on music. Nice. People know to utilize the mindset. People know horse cocking. Now, here's the Devin Larratt homeless conundrum. Devin Larratt is an arm wrestler who, the stronger he gets, seemingly, the more homeless he looks and the more disheveled he looks. For some reason this works for him. I'm not exactly sure why. But the thing you need to take into consideration here is the spirit of this. He just rests a lot. He eats a fuckload of food. He doesn't really care about anything else. And then he arm wrestles, and then he just fucking shits on everyone except if it's Levon. Even though I think he is going to beat Levon whenever they fight next. So, take this, do with this information what you will. This really helped me. It allowed me to, like, basically, Devin Larratt, so he doesn't care about aesthetics. He doesn't care about what his hair looks like. He doesn't care about any of that. He's just in the pursuit of strength and good times. So he doesn't care if he ends up looking more homeless if his like fucking feet break or like crack up or like whatever, his toes look funny. He's just in there to win the arm wrestling match. So what you can take from this, don't neglect your personal hygiene, obviously, but bulk. Please bulk. And if you're really trying to get stronger, embody this mindset. Embody this mindset of like being this like fucking hulking beast. And he also has maximum confidence, right? Devin Larratt has absolutely maximum confidence. I don't know if he's scared of anything. I actually don't know if he's scared of anything because he was a special forces soldier. He also has this thing that I'm gonna try to pronounce in Russian or Ukrainian. He said to Oleg Petrenko, he said, "Nie zdawajся jak chłopczyk," but then he mispronounced it a bunch of times. Probably so did I, but it's okay, because it's really funny. From what I know, it means don't give up, little boy. And he just said that all the time. And now I say that sometimes as a phrase when I'm really hurting. I kind of swapped the phrase out now for newer things. But I used to say this a lot when I was like really hurting either mid-set or mid like something difficult during a job. I would just say this to myself, yes, device, yeah, chik. Because the way he did it, again, this was definitely our 2 was cut, by the way, so he was like cut down to 105 kg. Don't ask me how. He's like 300 pounds now. But he was just full fucking homeless hair everywhere. Probably smelled like anus. He went up to the table, shouted, and then he held Oleg Petrenko right there. He fucking toyed with him. He was like, yes, device, yeah. And then, obviously, that made Oleg feel very, very good about himself. It didn't. It, like, everyone said, like, oh, you just, like, stole Oleg's soul, or, like, you broke him mentally, things like that. So, you need to have this effective phrase that you use to yourself to be like, don't give up. Are you fucking giving up? Are you serious? Are you shitting me right now? Is this real? Or, like, you're for real. Is this it? Are you... No? Okay, good. You need to have a saying like that. So, warning about anger. I kind of touched on this before. Keep it in the gym. And if you can't, which actually a lot of people can't, then you're going to become an asshole in real life, kind of. So don't use anger more than it's needed, right? Keep it really sparing and keep it really to the big lifts, right? When I wrote this, I was more relying on it. Right now, honestly, I just kind of chill. I just like to chill. I mean, you develop a kind of maturity and intensity over time. I say at the fucking age of 18, but I know you develop a kind of maturity and intensity over time where you can go harder without having to push yourself really hard. In the beginning stages, use all the fucking hype you can. Use all the anger. What's it called? Rut. When he went against Denis Siplankov, he goes like, rah, 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 and then, yeah, then he beat him that way. So, get very angry. Get very whatever you need to be, but it should start to taper off naturally, right? If you're doing a bunch of work on yourself mentally at the same time, it should taper off naturally, and that's fine. That's good, because you're going to be still the strongest version of yourself. You're just not going to have to be an angry asshole. But when you need that bit of a boost in the initial stages, go ahead. Wait. I hope this video gets a lot of views, if for nothing else than for this part, like when I said against Denis Siplankov. I can't wait for people to say, Dennis pulled Devin entire table with right arm 2018. Entire body with right... Wait, hold on. Dennis... Okay, there's a meme in the arm wrestling community where people comment, Dennis pulled Devin entire body with table in right arm 2018. Yeah, hopefully there's at least one comment like that. So, 5-second cooldown equivalent. In Naruto, what this means basically, in Naruto, there's a 5-second cooldown for Tendo Painter, right here, Yahiko, to use his, what's it called? Bansho Tenin Shibaku Tensei, Shinra Tensei. I think Shinra Tensei, which is like almighty push, fucking fart sound effect, creative humor, has a 5-second cooldown. This means that you can't fucking use hype for every single set, for every single anything. Your cooldown isn't 5 seconds. Your cooldown is much longer, right? Like a session. Like, you can only get maximally hyped for like a couple of sets. You can probably build that up, but I haven't tried. So I can't give you advice about building this up. I can just give you advice about tapping into it initially, and then tapering off its use once it's no longer needed. Here we are. The quickest way to a mediocre session is to fucking listen to a podcast the entire time. I'm sorry, it's just true. I've done it countless times. The sessions fucking suck balls, except if coincidentally like something amazing happened to you in your life. It's not, in my opinion, it's not the best idea to listen to a podcast or to listen to a video, because that shows that you really don't want to be there, and it's a form of escapism. I've already gone over the ultra hype songs, right? Here is a little bit more specifics. So, you need to have slow build-ups for explosion, for concentric pulling movements, right? Like a way to pull out some deadlifts, because deadlift is a concentric pulling movement. If you're pulling sumo, maybe don't have the build-up all at one time, because Twilight of the Thunder God is like, Thor, Odin's son, and that's like the... It's very, very high. It's the very, very high point. You can make that work, but the thing is, with the sumo deadlift, you're like... This is me pulling sumo. You're like, fucking amazing representation. So here's a sumo puller. You get into position and you're like, and so you like wedge into it. You wedge into the bar. I don't know if I can Hold on. Let me see if how cool this looks. Here's me pulling sumo. I hope it follows me. So, you get down, you pull the slack, knees out, and then you fucking pull the camera's doing a nice job tracking. So then, pull slack, and then pull through. And then it's done, right? So it's slow, fast. The lockout tends to be pretty fast. With conventional, there's a lot more, the camera's tweaking in there. There tends to be a lot more issues with the fucking lockout. So that's why it's good for, why some songs like Twilight of the Thunder God are really good for conventional deadlifts is you get your setup, and then you fucking, right? Or even the Larry Veal's way, which is just latch on with left arm, right arm, bam, fucking really fast. So full speed it'd be like, so that's a much more explosive movement than a sumo deadlift. And you need to get a much more yank off the floor, especially with Eric Bugenhagen. Sometimes the way Eric Bugenhagen deadlifts, like fucking, the bar comes up and then it goes down a little bit and then it starts sliding up. So songs like that are very, very good. The slow build up plus explosion. You need steady power for squats and bench because, well, I guess you can do like you can do something else if you do like the Scott Mendelson tidal wave, which I don't even understand fully yet or at all. So for bench, basically if you're arch and retracted like a power lifter, here you are, bam, 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 pull, and then leg drive and then fucking push it up. So that's a much more steady thing, and you're going into it basically. The difference is that there's no stretch reflex, right? There's no stretch reflex with the weighted pull up and deadlift, at least conventional, because you need to kind of build it yourself. For a squat, you're going down into the... Fuck it, let me just show you again. For squats, you're going down into the... You start at the top, take your brace, pull, and then you drive. So there's a lot of you're pulling, right? You're spread the taint at cone cube. You're spreading the floor, whatever you want to call it. I don't exactly like that cue. I like spread the taint better. So you're building into an eccentric. Same thing with the bench. You're pulling, and fucking exploding up. So you need steady power for that because it's not just one concentric movement right off the bat. Prophecy of Ragnarok works very well for that. Now, have cooldown songs. So basically, this is just like a nice addition. It's like the 80-20 rule, like the 20%. But it is a nice addition to have songs after these main really hyped ones that get your nervous system calmed down like crazy, because it can create a lot of the fatigue that you don't exactly want if you just abuse these songs. So, and abuse this type of hype. What isn't 20%, what is a good amount, like 80%, not 80%, maybe everyone's different with this, but what is a very, very good amount is, like you should do in a good amount of your sessions, is just abstinence. Nice voice crack. It's just abstinence from your fucking autism. It's just abstinence from your music, because that's gonna resensitize you to the hype songs, and it's just gonna make you be able to be more present and focused. And especially if you're meditating at the same time and doing breath work and things like that, it's gonna allow you to focus on the form better. It's gonna allow you to just be more present and enjoy things. It's kind of like eating without YouTube. So don't listen to fucking shit rap just because others do. If you genuinely like the shitty popular rap songs that are out right now, like Fiend. It's like, if you like Fiend, if you want to listen to Fiend during your workout, please go ahead. Fiend is a pretty cool song. But don't listen to what I mean by this is don't listen to just what other people are listening to just because you're like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Similarly, don't just listen to fucking funk edits because that's what you thought people are going to do, but you don't feel anything, but you're just like, oh, okay, maybe in the 100th funk edit, I'll feel something. Listen to what you like. Listen to what gets you hyped. Don't listen to what others listen to. Take suggestions, obviously, and if they resonate with you, then go for it. But you do not have to do this bullshit of like, oh, I'm just gonna play this playlist that my friend suggested and it's kind of ass, but I'm not gonna go against it because whatever. Now, finally, we've gone through the Deva path, and it's half an hour. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a fucking nice video. So, the Asura path is as follows. It's about programming. I'm going to give you the programming fundamentals, but enjoyment is much great. greater. It's much greater than optimal. That being said, you need to find something that you enjoy, and then you need to program that thing. I need to find some water. Here we are. Super Sparrow bottle, which used to have like a metal and wood lid, so I didn't get fucking microplastics in me, and then the wood literally broke, so. Cheers. Now, enjoyment, much better than optimal. I see people, like, actually, I actually don't see a lot of people doing optimal workouts who don't enjoy them. Usually when people do optimal workouts, they seem to be enjoying them. But there are a couple of times when it's just like people are doing this fucking iliac pull down or like epic stretch based curl where like I can imagine times like this happens where they're doing these optimal movements and they just fucking hate their lives. Like, why am I even doing this? Why am I even doing this? All the strongest guys are just like benching and like dumbbell pressing. So, if you really enjoy the optimal movements, go for it. But if you really enjoy movements that aren't optimal, then it's 100% fine. Please don't feel gatekept. Now, this philosophy of enjoyment is better than optimal, it stops working when you're not progressing, basically, because you don't know how to program. And this is why these bullet points are here for you. This is the programming fundamentals from hundreds of fucking hours spent watching Natural Hypertrophy, Bald Omni Man, Jeffrey Verdi Schofield. I learned so many fucking things about bodybuilding programming and like, yeah, basically hypertrophy programming for naturals. It's like, ooh, I clearly haven't applied it to my arms because, like, hold on, if you can fucking, yeah, still have a lot of way to go. But I think I have built a pretty nice V-taper and like relatively cool shoulders and upper traps, even though the neck is lacking. So I'm going to be giving you the fundamentals here. Avoid junk volume. I think this is way less common than it used to be because in the past people were more like, oh yeah, more equals more. Right now people are more likely to do a less is more mindset. But in the past maybe people were like, oh yeah, fucking 5 sets of whatever, 5 sets of this, 5 sets of this, 5 sets of this. Not saying that 5 sets in itself is junk volume, but if you have a program where you're just like, okay, fuck this, I was done 5 sets ago, there's no reason for me to be doing this, then don't. Unless you're a complete beginner. In which case you just push through because your body can't exactly be relied upon it 100%. Avoiding junk volume, like you can pretty much tell where you're just doing something redundant. At that point, go home, go to work, go get bitches, go get friends, go do something else. Just avoid junk volume. Spread out exercises over days. That's the general rule of thumb. If you enjoy a bro split and you see that it works for you and you can progress, go do that. But generally, most of the splits that people do, they do spread out exercises over days. So they don't do all of their exercises for chests, let's say on Monday. They do it on like Monday and Thursday, or like Monday and Wednesday and Friday. They're doing like a full body. So they are spreading out their movements. Alright, hello YouTube. The next part of the Asura path is to not stick to your split perfectly. Let me explain what this means, because this can also be taken into the fucking extreme where people are like, hey, let's not stick to a split, and then they just swing it, do whatever they want. That's what I do in between programs, and I make no fucking progress whatsoever. So, what I mean by don't stick to a split perfectly, especially on isolations, have some slots for some exercises that you keep open, like triceps, neck, forearms, abs, that you don't stick to a very given fucking exercise, right? Because you might find something new that you enjoy, and it works pretty much the same joint angle. It's just it's a little bit of novelty, keeps you motivated. So like, for example, if you're doing a French press with a dumbbell, but you find like this Dr. Mike, oh, nip slip, yeehaw, but you find this Dr. Mike thing, or Bald Omni Man thing, where he goes like this to the bar, and it's basically a bodyweight tricep extension. Don't let yourself be demotivated from training that just because you're like, oh, I have to stick to my French press. No, it's fine. Try to keep the same rep range, because once you change rep ranges, this is one of my biggest issues, you really don't progress that much. Especially if you're always switching them around, because you're always finding like a new X rep max. But that doesn't give you time to progress in the rep range. So be flexible with the isolations, but stick to the fucking main progression scheme for your main exercises, your main strength builders, whatever those are, your big movements. Don't swap them out as often. So, supersets are your big friend, are your big time-saving friend. This is why Natural Hypertrophy does giant sets a bunch, Bald Omni Man does supersets a bunch. Try not to superset things that are like too big exercises, so a bench press plus a barbell row, you can do it, especially if you're a former athlete, but that's like a pretty big ask on your fucking nervous system and a little bit taxing, but you can 100% do something like bench and pullovers, straight arm fucking dumbbell pullovers. You can do like a bench and a pull up. If they're next to each other and you're just doing a bodyweight pull up for extra volume, completely fine. You can do an overhead press and fucking dumbbell lat pull downs. No, but you can do like a overhead press in a row. You can do a bench on a row. You can do a bench and a curl. You can do a squat and a curl. You can do a fucking tricep extension and a curl. Basically, you can do anything with a curl except like a pull. And even then, I'm sure you can find something to do it. You can put a neck. Basically, the only way I catch myself training neck is if I do it as a superset, because it's just a very small muscle group and very, very easy to leave out otherwise. So, rep and set ranges are very, very important. Don't just have beyond the very initial novice stage. Don't just have like a 3x5, 3x6. Except if you have a progression scheme for that, like one that you're doing 3x6 with like something that you can easily do with like a couple of reps in reserve. Hold on, I wonder if, yeah, okay, it moves a little bit. So you just got to get the tracker to be properly in the middle of the circle. I wonder. Hello? Thank you. Very nice. So if you do something like a 3x6 or a 4x6, that's more like you can't really drive intensity there, so you have to drive volume by getting really good quality reps, quality whatever the fuck, and then the next time increase the reps, increase the sets, increase the whatever the fuck. But if you're just going all out failure on your sets, those should be evolving rep ranges, because there's no way you can do 3 sets of 5 reps and all 5 reps are to failure. That's just not how the body works. So progression schemes are also things like you do a certain percentage of your 1 rep max, or you cap it at an RPE. That's more like powerlifting shit. You don't need to worry about too much unless you really like that. But it works. It really does work. So a progression scheme would be like, week 1 you start off with like 63% of your 1 rep max, just fucking rep it. Week 2 67%, week 3 whatever, and then you have like an AMRAP set or something. You keep yourself to a specific rep cadence, specific rep quality, and then fucking up the form and up your reps and sets and weight and whatever, you progress that way. Or again, if you're going to failure, French press again, fucking you can barely do the last rep. Then rep ranges, so like 8 to 12, you did 8. Let's say you got, okay, let's see, fucking 6 to 10. So let's say you got 8, 7, 6, or more realistically, like, okay, 9, you did like 9, 7, 9, 7, 7, or like 9, 7, 6. Next time you can do 10, 8, 8, or like 10, 8, 7, just whatever it ends up being. And the ranges, also set ranges, if you're feeling just fatigued as fuck and you're like, you can't handle the volume that day, then don't. But if you can handle the volume, then add on extra sets. That's progressive overload. So specific programming things that are good to know are like hamstring curls and neck before and during squats. So like if you do some neck extensions, do 5 sets of guac guac, haha, very funny joke. You do like a couple of sets of neck extensions, it like pumps the upper trap area, gets it ready for fucking, I wonder if you have good lighting in here, it gets it ready for, can the camera fucking, so it gets it ready for the bar to be put on here, and then you can have a lot of fun. So hamstring curls before squats, also fucking, I'm gonna put my foot in the camera. Basically that gets your knee tendons warmed up somehow. It gets your head, like, it reduces your risk of injury, and it's also doesn't tank your performance on a quad bias squat. So arm angles are very important. Let's go over this. So imagine I'm rowing. So arms like this, fucking, hold on, I don't know how you can see it. 45-degree angle is so 45-degree angle is going to be a good blend of rear delts. You're pulling this way, it's going to be a good amount of upper back. You're pulling close to your body, it's going to be a nice amount of lats, and you can fucking lat spread on everybody. So you can use different implements, fucking mag grips or some shit to really help you get locked in. You can do your hand position, like do pronated, supinated, neutral, fucking thumbless grip, fat grip, whatever. You can experiment with all that. They're not as important as the fundamentals of like just train hard and fucking eat food, literally. So they're not as important as that, but they can make a little bit of a difference and solve specific issues that you may have. Another thing is that calisthenics are your friend. So if you have an option to do a bench press or a weighted push-up, do which one you like. Don't be like, the bench press is inherently better because it's with weights. Doesn't matter. Especially like leg raises, weighted sit-ups, Those are amazing. Those are calisthenics movements. Well, weighted calisthenics. Weighted dips are fucking legendary. Weighted pull-ups are legendary. Inverted rows. Ring curls and ring anything. Just ring anything are very nice. Tricep extensions with body weight are cool. So calisthenics are your friend. I just realized this shit has been here the whole time. I'm so sorry. There we are. Okay, now it's gone. So, same exact caveat. Hold on. Should have gone over this a little bit more. Oh yeah, here are technique fundamentals. Yippee. So, use the technique that makes you feel cool, but it has the same exact caveat as programming, is that it stops working when your progress is ass because you don't know how to fucking do your technique. So, do the technique that you like, but if your progress stalls, it stops being fun. If you're horse cocking a lot, but you got fucking injured, obviously your technique needed some adjustment. So do what you like, do the technique that you like, but get some basic cues down just to make sure you don't injure yourself. And if you're noticing an issue or you're noticing stall in progress, it's probably not, it's probably fucking not your technique, but it may be. It's probably just like food, sleep, hydration, recovery mindset, but it could be your technique. So, powerlifting versus bodybuilding technique. Yeehaw. With powerlifting technique, let's say bench press. Arch retract, put yourself up onto your scaps, the fucking Scott Mendelson leg drive, tidal wave. Bodybuilding technique, a bit closer grip, make sure you're really getting all the way down, feel the stretch, even use a cambered bar if you have to, use dumbbells, and then fucking squeeze. Bring your biceps together, bring your elbows together, do whatever fucking technique helps you. Same thing with deadlifts. Well, bodybuilding technique for a deadlift is just an RDL. Powerlifting technique, you fucking roll your traps forward, get really fucking brace, do whatever you want. The example with the gym girls of getting tight, I'm sure I was in a very funny mood when I wrote this. Getting tight example with gym girls, it's like, ha ha ha, lol, sex. No. But actually, this happened one more time. So basically, I've taught like a couple of girls how to bench press, just like because we were training coincidentally or not coincidentally together, doing the same movement. I keep them. Fuck me. I tell them to get tight, just scaps back and down, and it just makes a world of difference. And there's a way to get tight in almost every lift. I was about to say on almost every gym girl. Freudian slip. So, same thing with squats. So they just, like, it worked. When I say example with gym girls, they were like, oh my god, thank you, what the fuck, this helped so much. So, how do I say this? Like, getting tight on a deadlift is about, like, creating a, pulling the slack out and creating a fucking nice eccentric, like, making your own eccentric, right? So you feel your hamstrings and glutes and whatever the fuck getting tight. Sumo deadlift, you get really tight, and then you just fucking barely break it off the floor and then it's locked out, so that's very important for that. A row, with the row you do need to kind of get your lower back into extension and then like pull the slack out of the bar, fucking, and then you can row. Overhead press, again, you need to kind of fucking wedge your hands under like that, entire upper back squeezed. I don't know if you can see, so from the back it's like, fuck me, can the camera angle just please? Okay, it's fine. So with the squat, you can like, and then everything is squeezed back there. With the overhead press, similar. You're getting under it, so everything is squeezed and tight. I don't know how much you saw that, but you know what I mean. And then that creates a very stable base for you to press from. So beware of technique inflation. This is, I don't know if I coined this correctly, but no, I definitely didn't coin it, but I don't know if I worded this correctly. It's basically your technique can get progressively worse and worse, and you think that you're improving, whereas you're not. You're just fucking letting your form go to shit and ass. So you must know why you're doing a lift. You must know whether this is an exercise for power, for fucking speed, for fucking hypertrophy, for just like mobility, things like that, and tailor your technique to that, and then keep it consistent, because if not, it can get get worse and worse. Your squat depth maybe can get higher and higher, which is not good. Because more knee over toe travel is fucking nice for quad hypertrophy, and you don't want to start with so if you start with an ATG squat and then you end with a fucking low bar just like barely to parallel squat, like there's a chance that the increase in strength is only because you switched to low bar and not because you actually got stronger. And so you need to notice that those are very different exercises. Like same thing with sumo and conventional deadlift, they are different exercises. So one allows you to lift more weight, nice voice crack, generally. So just be aware of if you find yourself fucking creeping higher and higher, you find yourself missing range of motion, just keep your technique consistent and make sure you get stronger with that consistent technique. Nothing stronger with doing nothing wrong with Freudian slip number 2 or 3 in this video, yippee. Nothing wrong with doing like lifts that are less range of motion than full, like less than full range of motion lifts. There's nothing wrong with that, but just keep it consistent and then know why you're doing that. I said 2023 eccentric bullshit because in 2023 was the main thing. It's like, if you don't have a 5-second negative, your entire family is gonna like get very angry at you and then like disown you. It's fine. It doesn't matter if your eccentric isn't like the slowest thing in the world. Feel it. Feel the eccentric if you're doing bodybuilding form, and then if you're doing powerlifting form, make the eccentric slow enough that you don't fucking die, because if you just dive bomb with your 1 rep max squat, you're probably gonna get injured. So that's why you need to stay tight, stay controlled, and then fucking do whatever from there, but the eccentric doesn't need to be 5 seconds long. Here's the shit that you don't need to worry about. Your split. If you're training anywhere from 2 to 6 days a week, that can work. So again, it's like, how many days a week do you go to the gym? How many days a week should I train? It doesn't matter. You just need to keep in mind your session length. So how long can you be in the gym, and then fun. Don't be worried about not being recovered. Don't worry about not being recovered enough for your next session, because in all honesty, you probably are. Eric Bugenhagen fucking maxes out constantly. Schofield, GVS, Jeffrey Reddy Schofield, he fucking takes almost every set to failure, and he's done like numerous cuts where he gets to like 8.76% body fat, where he's just fucking eating like Chinese cabbage for like 1,000 calories a day, and that's like his man, super low calories, super low sleep. He runs as well, and he still fucking goes to failure. Eric Bugenhagen wrestles, goes super high intensity, takes 90 million scoops of pre, and then he just fucking still lifts heavy. So you're probably not training as hard as these guys, so probably don't worry about not being recovered. Now, if you feel like, okay, if I do this next set of bench, I'm gonna get fucking snapped, do some warm-up, do some fucking whatever, but don't be worried about, oh, actually, I'm not gonna go to the gym because I'm not recovered enough. I've been doing that recently, just bitching out on my part. So, what? Okay, hold on, I'm sorry, because I'm surprising myself with my own writing here. Progress stalls. Yeah. So, don't exactly worry if your progress, what's it called? Don't exactly worry if your progress just doesn't go. This doesn't keep up from like 1 week to the next, or even 2 weeks, or even 3. If you're keeping on top of your sleep, food, hydration, and just intensity, and then you're keeping your technique relatively the same, and you're not skipping your accessories and like the ab movements or whatever, you don't need to worry about not making progress from like 1 week to the next. When you should worry is that when in multiple weeks in a row you can't progressive overload in any way at all. So if you can add weight for a couple of weeks in a row, it doesn't fucking matter. But if you can add reps, weight sets, density, or progress your form, density is just like how fast you can. So basically, increased density would be like you do 3 sets of 10. I know we talked about evolving rep ranges before. Let's just assume you do 3 sets of 10 with 3 minutes rest each. If you do 3 sets of 10 with 2 minutes rest each, you've improved the density. So you need to be adding either reps, weight, sets, density, or making your form better. If you can't do any one of those over a period of like fucking several weeks, then probably you should be worried. And the first place you should look is your recovery, and the second place you should look is your technique and intensity. Now, if you're getting fucking just torn apart, if you're just doing something that used to be like a 3 rep max, you do it for 1 rep and you feel like your shoulder like come out, your shoulder fucking tweak and twinge and whatever, that's probably something to worry about, because there's something massive there. And that's when you're actually under recovered, is when you're you take like your 5 rep max squat down for 1 rep, and then you like almost blow out your lower back. That's probably, and keep in mind, like, assuming your technique's the same, whatever, that's probably a sign of your recovery being off. And maybe you're just having a bad day, but you should actually worry about that, and you should adjust your session accordingly. Maybe take it a little bit easier on that session when you feel like you're literally going to get injured. So you should worry also when, and by worry I mean just like take into account that yes, there's a problem when lifestyle changes warrant altering your schedule. what this means, if you get a new job, and if you're with your whatever the fuck, obviously change your workout schedule when you go. If you're in school and you're no longer in school and now you can train more days a week, you can potentially consider that. If you can train less days a week, you consider that. When I say don't bullshit, people have more time in the day than they think. Well, no, people have as much time in the day as they think, but they can use it better than they think. I'm a humongous time waster myself. It's one of my worst traits. So when I say don't bullshit, I probably bullshit most of the times when I skip the gym. And consistency really is like, just consistently train hard and you'll make progress. So you really need to catch yourself on the copes when you're like, oh, this thing makes me not need to or not want to go to the gym, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go. Don't bullshit. Most likely, sorry, my PC is making some whirring noise. Most likely you can still fit it in somewhere. That's what she said. Hold on, let me just fuel my fucking GPU. Okay, we're good. So, human path. These are the mistakes that we make because we're all human. Isn't that so poetic? Thank you. Now, program hopping is the #1 killer of gains, and this is my worst mistake. What I'm doing currently at the time of this writing is that I was on Bull Mastiff. Bull Mastiff is like a fucking 20-week program. I finished it like a month ago. Since then, my training has been fucking abysmal. But, I haven't even fixed it yet. Do as I say, not as I do, because I need to take my own advice here. Get inspired by something and stick to it. What I'm inspired by currently is the old Natural Hypertrophy Guts program. Because I've put in my 3 years in the gym. I'm close to intermediate on my lifts. Actually intermediate on the squat. I think I'm intermediate weighted pull-up wise. Probably. Weighted dip wise, I'm still pretty novice. Overhead press, I'm intermediate. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I went to a muscle beach earlier and I just fucking put a plate on the bar on the overhead press and psh, this is easy. So that's very nice. So I'm intermediate on a couple of lists. Not so much on bench and deadlift. So I would be intermediate if I hadn't fucking program hopped that much. This is the #1 killer of gains because once you program hop, you switch your exercises and your rep ranges. And when you switch your exercises and your rep ranges and also how hard you're pushing things, you change your exercises, rep ranges, intensity, and form. Because programs often go like, yeah, go full balls to the wall. Think about your X. Think about your whatever. Or they go like, yeah, keep 3 reps in reserve. And when you're constantly shifting that, you don't have a control group to like weigh yourself against. Like, okay, last week I did this. Did I actually progress or did I just fucking cope? When you change your rep ranges, again, you can just like do different reps and have them not be good intensity. When you change your exercises, they can be like very different and not be very specific to each other. And when you change your fucking rep ranges, intensity, exercise, oh yeah, and form. And when you change your form, again, you can have artificial strength increases by just like going higher on a squat if your new program has low bar instead of high bar. So stick to a program. Not exactly in the isolation, because, oh yeah, what I wanted to say with the isolations is that don't follow it fucking word for word unless you're a novice, like pure beginner. When you develop a bit of intuition, yeah, you can play around with some of the isolations, obviously mindfully keeping in mind what they do and what your change is going to do. The reason why is also because the people writing the program probably spend considerably less time writing in the one specific isolation, or even you, if you wrote the program, you spend considerably less time writing in that one isolation movement than you will performing it. So if you find that something isn't working, see if there's any other cause, like out of gym variables, but then change it. Just change the fucking overhead extension with like a barbell. Let's say you have fixed easy bars and then you fucking, I'm doing the tricep extension movement a lot because it's like the only pose I look kind of okay in here. But let's take another exercise. Let's say you have fucking, what's it called? When would this be applicable? Oh yeah, let's say you cut your thumb. Wait, I wonder if it can show. Yeah, let's say you cut your thumb and you can now only do like false grip on things for a while, then go do that, go do the false grip. If the dumbbells are taken for your lateral raise, use a cable. Trust me, it's not going to make that humongous of a difference. Just do the work that's similar and do it with a good intensity. If all the barbells are taken and all the fixed bars are taken, do a dumbbell curl. It's not going to kill you. Yeah, once you stop changing shit, the progress will come. It's going to be less exciting. Like on Bull Mastiff, the workouts were not exciting whatsoever, but the progress came. The progress came. and that is very important. Inconsistency is another thing. We kind of related, but kind of not. Now, I've almost never regretted going to the gym. This means that if you're thinking about skipping the gym, don't. Because if you're thinking about skipping the gym, that means that you can. You can actually go. Now, sometimes there's like a logistical thing where like, okay, you're gonna have either like a life-altering experience. If you decide to skip the gym today, you're gonna have like some life-changing opportunity. Don't be an idiot with this. But if you're not gonna be doing anything and you're like, ah, should I go? Yes. Because if you truly shouldn't go, then it's not gonna really be a question. If you're completely new, anything is progress. This is also why, if you're completely new, please stick to the program, because you probably don't have the intuition yet to know what works for you, to know what doesn't work for you, and to know what to change. The bigger picture skipped. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Okay, I really should have reviewed this more, but now it's all coming back to me. Skip days and skipped exercises really do matter. If I didn't fucking skip arm training on, actually I didn't. I'm sure I skipped arm training somewhere because my arms are fucking tiny. If I didn't skip many ab movements, I would get better abs. But, well, I haven't skipped that many, like, weighted sit-ups, weighted leg raises, but I have skipped them sometimes, or just been like, I can't be fucking asked. These things matter, these things add up over time, and it's embarrassing to admit it, but yeah, this is what's been happening. The exercise that you always do and that you are always passionate about and you do with high intensity, the muscle group corresponding is going to respond, and your strength is going to go up. So, skip days and skipped exercises, they pile up on top of each other, and they matter, and so, what's it called? How do I say this? It kind of like builds a mindset as well if you're okay with skipping, because it stops the snowball effect. Because when you're going to the gym at a set consistent time, training intensely, it creates a very nice snowball, and then the first little cope you make, the snowball slows down, and then you fucking go down and down and until you just like stop the momentum, which is not good. So obviously it's gonna slow down, it's gonna like hit a tree every once in a while just because how life is, but then make an effort to keep the momentum rolling and then build it back up. Go early. Should I just fucking quit YouTube at this point, bro? What was that voice crack? Go early to the gym, please. 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., beautiful times, because it's before most of the world is doing things, and then you don't have to do like the war with the rest of yourself for the rest of the day. You're like, oh, should I go now? Should I go after this meal? Should I go before this meal? Just go to the gym early if scheduling is a problem for you. And if not, then obviously going is better than not going. But so if you have like something conflicting, just go early and go at a consistent time each day. This way you can get into a routine and get into nice motivation. You can tell by how like I'm kind of skipping over this. I'm messing up on almost everything that I'm telling you to not mess up on. This is me right here. This is a fucking me after fucking program hopping after 1 week and skipping the gym. So it's all good. Don't make stupid fucking scheduling choices that you know. So if the gym and building muscle and getting fucking jacked, stacked, lean, and succulent and athletic is a priority for you, or the priority for you, then don't make retarded scheduling choices that will conflict with that. For example, honestly, it's mostly just like good amount of people are just like, yeah, they have school and they're tired from school and then they don't really know if they want to go. Just go before school. Yeah, but that's really early. So it's fine. You can take it. Just go to sleep earlier. And what others could do? Well, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I probably had something really profound to say about this bullet point over here. Since I wrote this is why I'm a big procrastinator. I should have recorded this video earlier. But I probably had a big story here. But you get the point. Don't make stupid choices that could have been different, but now they interfere with the gym, and you're just like, like a martial arts class at a certain time. Then your friends are like, yeah, should we go do this thing? And you say like, oh yeah, sure. Or if you have like a choice of when to do it or choice of time, make sure you can fit the gym in somewhere. Otherwise, you're just being fucking dumb. Or go to the gym earlier. If you know you're gonna be hanging out with someone, just go earlier. This is why going early is a very big thing. Setbacks. They're normal. They will happen. You will mess up on things. I mess up on things probably more than a few people, probably less than a few people, but definitely more than a lot of people, because yeah, I it's very easy for me to bitch out. I'm a bitch in intensity a lot of times, in skipping the gym a lot of times, and in program hopping. So once these setbacks happen, you need to build back up ASAP, because you can do this thing of like, one day you overshot intensity and maybe like your progress stalled and you're like, ugh, so then you fucking regress to like the empty bar, you regress to body weight, and you're just like, if I just do the Renaissance periodization form, everything will be better. Get back to the way that you know works for you, unless it actually stops working for you. But most setbacks, like, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's not like the fucking path isn't shut. You just like took a little step back, so you can then you can jump back up. You'll be lifting for the rest of your life. This is very important, because as long as you're alive and you can move your limbs, you can do some sort of exercise, even if like the C word 2 happens and then all the gyms close again. You can do home exercises. You know that now. Probably when the original, can I say the word quarantine? Probably when the original quarantine was happening. You probably did an exercise at home. Maybe you did. I started towards the end of that, so I've been at it for a bit. I started towards like the end of mid 2021 doing home workouts, and then March 13, 2022 is when I actually got into a gym. So you'll be lifting for a very, very long time, if not the actual rest of your life, for as long as physical health stays a priority, which it should be like up there. Even if not at the very top, it should be up there. So you're definitely going to be doing this for a long time. So if you have like one setback, or even like a minor tweak or minor injury somewhere, just have the mindset, it's okay, I'm gonna build back up to much higher than this. And with how fast time passes, it's like, holy fuck, it's not even a big deal, probably, because unless you like, I don't know, blow out a vertebrae, let's say you get a slight shoulder tweak when you're doing your bench press, it's okay, just get on your fucking rehab exercises, just do some light pump work, just blood flow. Pump is the cure, movement is medicine. Once you're good to start benching again, just keep going. Don't be discouraged because you're like, oh, I have to start at like 80 pounds. So just go, just win. Here's a statement. I don't have much to say about it. NH, natural hypertrophy, and probably many others have a lot more to say about this because they're more experienced. They've gone through more struggles, probably. But the phrase lift on struggler really, really helped, because I don't know, it just really, really super inspiring to have that, because it's tied to Berserk. And lift on struggler, it's like, okay, cool, something may be happening to you, something bad may be happening to you, who the fuck cares, lift on struggler. Or just train. That's another one. So you need to have these little phrases to remind yourself when you're on setbacks, when you're on setbacks, when you've just recently experienced a setback. In the grand scheme of things, you're also very safe, most likely, unless you're watching this in like a couple of countries that are fucking at war. You're probably alive. If you're watching this, you're most definitely alive. And then you have a choice to train. Unless you're like in USSR, CCCP, fucking Russian Olympics, where they're like forcibly pinning you in the thigh with fucking testosterone. And they're like, go do clean and jerk or we fucking execute you. It's okay. You have a choice to go to the gym. And you have to will it. Like, you have free will. I know it's a big meme that it's like, haha, free will, XD, driving off a cliff. But no, you have free will to go and train. And that means that you have the choice, and you can make the choice to do it well. You're safe. If you're watching this video, maybe there's a bunch of fucking other stressors in your life. But a good amount of people, if you're in America or Western Europe, like, you're good. Right? You're good. I don't know, Japan, South Korea, countries like this. You're safe, you're alive, and you have the choice to train. It's going to be very nice. Go do it well. Alright, so the animal path is going to represent all the stuff that you can physically bring to the gym, or the stuff that you can physically buy. Why is this the case? It's because the animal path in the show, it basically summons different animals, and it's the most like variety in that, like, it can just summon all these different creatures, and they all serve different purposes. Some of them are like basically fodder, some of them are useless, and some of them are very useful. In a similar vein, things that you can bring to the gym, some of them can be super useful, and some of them can be pretty shit. So I'm going to be tiering them like a Fortnite system. basically, we're going to be going over all these. The yellow is like legendary and Fortnite or mythic, whatever you want to call it. And then purple is going to be epic, and then blue is going to be rare. Green is going to be uncommon, and then white is going to be common. And then this asterisk means that it's fucking probably bad for you. Except for one use case. So, water and shoes. These are pretty much the only things that you need to bring to the gym. Also, let me just tell you, yourself is the most important by far. Even if you don't bring water or shoes to the gym, you go definitely at maxing and you go fucking like barefoot. Hold on. Can I get this in the camera? Yeah, even if you just go barefooted, that was beautiful, I'm sure. You can make like 90% of the progress that you were going to anyways. This is just the other 10%. So, water is actually, can be maybe a little bit more than 10% because that's extremely important. Aim for a gallon a day, 4 liters of water, yeah, like First Man always says. Very, very important. So make sure you have some water with you, either in a bottle or the gym has running water. Now, shoes are super important as well because they can drastically limit how much weight you can do on leg movements, like how much you can squat and deadlift. If you have like some shitty ass spongy fucking running shoe and then you're using that to deadlift or squat, that's not good. I personally like, hold on, let me just get out of here. Hopefully I don't dox myself. This shoe. Hopefully the autofill options didn't do anything crazy, but if you watch this much into the video, then I permit it. So you can see my fucking search history. Basically, this is very, very good for squatting and deadlifting. This is a Hungarian shoe brand. This is what I have and what I use most of the time. I also have the Rascal weightlifting shoe, which is $30. It's very cool, except it kind of falls apart very quickly. So I've had mine for like a year-ish and it's like fucking completely torn. But I can still like just barely use it, so I wear those. And what those have in common is that the sole is very flat. And essentially, it's not gonna slide around. You're gonna be stable, you're gonna be solid, and it's not gonna compress, because when you have a big old foamy fucking shoe, you put a lot of weight on it, it compresses, and then you don't have as much force transfer because it's not as solid. You can also just squat and deadlift in your socks or barefooted, lol, but there may be like hygiene concerns there, either with the gym or with yourself. So I recommend getting a nice sturdy shoe. You can also get a squat shoe, but those can be very expensive, and they're not necessary. You just have something very flat heeled, flat fucking bottom sole. Yeah, flat soled. People always recommend Chuck Taylors. Yeah, go get Chuck Taylors. So, equipment. What I mean is, if you're bringing something to the gym that you're actually going to be using to do the lift. This can be a thing like a gym pin, right? A gym pin where you can, if you max out the stack because you're just a fucking turbo chad like that, you put it in the stack and then you stick a plate on it, and then it allows you to go beyond the stack as much as the cable can carry. This is very important for further progression. Obviously don't buy one unless you can actually max out the stack and you, like, that's the only option you have. This can also be things like a weighted dip belt, weighted pull-up belt. This can also be things like a safety squat bar. If you're wanting to do that, this can be things like chains and bands. So anything like that that's going to actually be a part of the lift that you're doing. Also a chest expander. I wonder if I have it with me. Well, kind of. Hold on. I have a chest expander attached to this thing with bobber. Do it for a little bit of arm wrestling practice. So you just go like, wonder if I can get in frame. Yeah, there we are. This is a belt and it's attached to a chest expander. So basically, any equipment like that, you're really obviously going to want to bring with you to the gym if that's part of your program. Clothes are super important in making you feel cool and making you feel big. There are some shorts that make my legs look fucking non-existent because it only basically shows like the knee and calf down. There are some shorts that make me look pretty, like, a little bit like I train my legs because they reveal more of the quad and adductor. There are shirts that make me look fucking turbo small, and then there are shirts that make me look only a little bit small. So there are things that you need to consider, and if you like the clothes that you wear, and if they inspire you, you can pretend like they're your armor or whatever you want, whatever makes you, whatever helps you lift. And you're just going to be having a all-around better time. When I got the Maidenless shirt, I remember it's for the first time from Rascal, the other company, whoops. Sparkling water. Beautiful. So when I got the Maidenless shirt from Rascal for the first time, I wore that and I felt so cool because it was like fucking curling. I remember that. It's like, oh wow, this actually like fits around the sleeve. So clothes like that make you feel good, they're super important. Protective gear. What I mean by this, it's not things like gloves or a squat pad, that we're going to get to those later. What I mean by protective gear is if you genuinely have a fucking injury, and you need this gear to, like, help save you, basically. So, knee sleeves, knee wraps, elbow wraps, wrist wraps, these are very, very important. They can help you lift a little bit more weight if you're, like, going for powerlifting, and if you're you're completely healthy in all these joints. But, for example, this wrist would be completely fucked a couple of years back, and I couldn't do any sort of benching on it, so I would have to wrap it, and then it became stable, strong. You can also rehab it, that's probably better. So that would fall under equipment, all the rehab stuff. But I would wrap it, and then that would be very, very good, because then I could actually properly press without the fucking wrist limiting me. So protective gear, that's in the epic category, kind of. So it's not legendary, it's not like absolutely essential, but if you have need of them, they're great, and if you have them, they're also great. Like, it's a relatively big boost. Straps. Straps are something that's, I don't think, as important as all these, for the sole reason that people built very, very impressive physiques, very, very good physiques without them. But also, it does make sense that, like, it's a very real thing. I can't deny. Hold on, let me just get mine. It's a very real thing that is hard to deny, right? That, sometimes in a back exercise, you just fucking feel your fingers opening up because your grip is ass, because you just fucking jorbled it 20 times the night before. And then you're like, oh shit, my back's still at like an RPE 7. So, you get these boys. My straps are turbo long. I really like this company, right? Grimfrost, because it gets the whole Viking lark very well. Here is Jarngraper. But the straps are super long. So, regular straps should stop maybe somewhere like here, right? This should be it. You put them around, and then you go like, and then like it's locked in. But mine are very long, so I don't get straps that are as long as mine. So, also, there's like a little piece here that isn't padded. You can also get VersaGrips. VersaGrips can go in there, but if you start to lift really heavy, VersaGrips may not be that good for like turbo heavy lifts. I'm talking like 500, 600 pound range. I haven't even fucking touched half those numbers in most of my lifts, so that shouldn't be a concern for most people. But straps are very, very important, and VersaGrips can fill that role as well. It's just if you're planning on like doing some fucking 5-plate RDL for like 8 reps, the VersaGrips may come undone. But here we are. There's a part of it that like can hurt, which is why I recommend the VersaGrips earlier, and they can dig into your wrist pretty badly. I don't know the long-term effects of this, obviously, because I haven't been lifting long enough to see the long-term effects. But yeah, the straps can be a little bit like shitty to your wrist, a little bit like fucking dangerous in like how much they compress it. It just doesn't feel good. So if you have the grip strength to do an exercise, by all means you don't have to strap, but it's very, very helpful. And for things like barbell rows, it's really good. For RDLs, it's fucking essential. RDLs is absolutely essential. So if you want to go your posterior chain, especially, or like block pulls, rack pulls, you pretty much have to strap. So wireless headphones. Wireless headphones are also pretty important, because unless you're going to raw dog it and no music, which I think is a very, very viable and good option. Again, the old school grades didn't have almost any of these. They had water, they had shoes, they had some equipment, obviously they had clothes of some kind. Maybe they have primitive fucking protective gear, and yeah, that's about it. Maybe they had like one belt, or like, and then they just worked with whatever grips and attachments they could. But so they didn't have wireless headphones. Obviously, they made it work without Bluetooth. Steve Reeves built a physique without fucking listening to funk edits. I know it's crazy. So, despite that being said, wireless headphones are very, very cool if you're gonna listen to music, because wired headphones fucking fall out so often it's not even funny. You can see in like Quinn Stott videos where he does like the spinning squats with like 600 pounds and makes fun of women on Instagram. That's funny. When he does stuff like that, you can see like sometimes his wired headphones fall out. You can see in the older Bald Omni Man videos his fucking wired headphones fall out, and it's just not very fun. So wireless headphones are an absolute must, because they're gonna allow you to listen to your music and not have them fucking fall out mid-set if you're actually training hard. Which, by the way, if you're using wired headphones and they do fall out mid-set, don't stop the set. Don't stop the set. If you stop the set because of that, I think you're just gonna not make it. There aren't many like surefire ways to gauge whether or not a person is gonna make it, but I think if you stop the set just because your headphones fell out, that's fucking... Come on, man. Come on. You have to get that level of investment where that doesn't happen. But to avoid that happening altogether, wireless headphones. They don't have to be AirPods. AirPods are like fucking $200. It doesn't have to be that. They can be. I have the Skull Candy. I wonder if. Yeah, here we are. I got Skull Candy. Indie Evos or Sesh Evos. Here we are. These were $29 or $39, either $30 or $40, and they've lasted me for like a year plus. Year and a half actually, I think. Hold on, let me get them out. This isn't actually earwax on them, that's the dirt. That's the fucking like the case, the protective case, just like material from that. So I think higher quality ones are sometimes they can be worth it. They can be worth it because these guys are pretty. Sometimes they had pairing issues. They've been going pretty good now. They're on a pretty good streak of like not having any connective issues, but they used to. So get wireless headphones, get the best ones you can afford, but like even $30 ones, they're absolutely fine. They're absolutely amazing and they last for a while. Just sometimes they're a headache of like fucking, yeah, you know, sometimes it doesn't connect, sometimes it disconnects, sometimes it like accidentally turns on the ambiance mode. Hold on. Let me just get this out of my way. Okay, so that's something for you to consider whether or not you listen to music. If you do, definitely consider the headphones. Belt is super important. I'm not gonna bring it out. I'm not gonna fucking bring it out because it's like a little bit away. Like I've shown you everything else. Actually, fuck it, yeah, I will. Okay, so here we are. Belt also from Grimfrost, same company that made the straps. This is pretty affordable, very nice. Megan Gjord, I don't know how to pronounce exactly, but this guy is very helpful. It can help like add, I think, around 10% on squats and deadlifts. I haven't noticed a difference in bench, but it really does help you just in squats and deadlifts. The reason I don't put it any higher is because you don't need them. Second that, I would probably put a belt at like, I would probably put the belt in the green tier, in the uncommon tier. If I had to redo this list, it's at the very, very bottom, because at the very bottom of the rare, because you truly don't need a belt. If you learn how to brace properly, if you learn how to do the cannonball bracing, you don't need this, right? And it's actually better for, you can develop safety without it. But if you are going to be lifting maximally, and if you do want to horsecock things, which I like to do sometimes, then a belt is very nice. It tacks on like about an extra 10%, right? Mainly to your squats and deadlifts. It just helps you brace very, very well, that you just can't get without one at your very maximal loads. So the next thing is grips and attachments. What I mean by this is, if you see the Alex Becker trying to do like, hold on, what funk songs do they use? Like, embrace the waterfall, and then he does the same weight on lat pull downs for 2 years and then hops in steroids. Yeah, so when he does like the mag grip and that, and it looks very good, or when he does the cable row with the mag grip, that looks very good as well. Yeah, the grips are things like that. Mag grips, as well as like Dr. Mike showed like the fucking red like non-rotating lat pull down handle. That's also an extra grip. Attachments, yeah, it's like what's it called? It's like D handles. The D handles are attachments. Fucking any sort of thing that you would put onto a cable, any sort of thing that you would put onto a yeah, like a dumbbell even, and you can put fat grips onto a dumbbell, that would be under that category. That can very much help. And the fat grips actually can go under equipment because they can grow your forearms very monstrous and very large. But as you can see, I have not used fat grips before because they're fucking like, these are like Cornish game hen fucking legs. These are like quail legs. So very, very much room to grow. But that's good because there's a lot of gains to be made for me. So grips and attachments for anything that falls into that category, again, they're cool. So the yellow is like, your workout is gonna suffer if you don't have them. Yeah, so water and shoes, obviously. If you don't have water and shoes, fucking your workout is gonna be worse probably, or like the proper shoes. Purple is like, your workout is gonna be better if you have them, like noticeably better. Blue is gonna be a little bit of a boost. Green is like, it can go either way. Fucking take it or leave it, it doesn't really matter. And then white is like actively bad, except for a little bit of a extra category there for the squat pad. Basically, Grips and attachments fall into the category of like, yeah, I can make it a little bit better, but they don't make as big of a difference as you think, because some of the best backs in the world, for instance, have been made by just gripping straight bars, just gripping like some fucking camber, slight camber, that just comes equipped into most gyms, or like whatever your gym has. So the grip and attachment won't exactly make the biggest difference ever. And not exactly, it won't. It won't make that big of a difference. Develop your own like mind and mind muscle connection over grips, and that'll serve you better. So pre-workout and supplements, you can take them or leave them. I tried Gorilla Mode Nitric when I was a younging. I say at the age of 18, but like when I was a fucking young lad, I tried Gorilla Mode Nitric, like yay, scooped it, bought with my mom's money and her consent to spend that money on that. Actually, wait, no, it wasn't. No, I think it was with my money. Yeah, no, because I wouldn't make. Okay, yeah. I was stupid, but I'm not like that much of an asshole where I'm like, hey mom, can we please buy Gorilla Mode Nitric? Actually, maybe. Maybe I was that much of an asshole. I don't know. I bought it with some money that was somewhere in my family. There was Gorilla Mode Nitric. I took scoop. Yay, fucking. Drank that. Felt absolutely no difference, except I was sweating a little bit more than usual. Total shit. I think it's a total shit product. I think most pre-workout and supplements are total fucking ass. I appreciate the like high caffeine stuff. I think they can make you like, if you're scared of the gym, here's the thing, if you're scared of the gym, if you're scared of like a really hard leg day, if you take something with a lot of caffeine, you're not going to be scared anymore. You're just going to be like fucking anxious to go into the battlefield. But other than that, pre-workout and supplements, just like go fuck yourselves. Same thing with creatine. I may just be like a low responder. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all, and it's good for you. Like scientifically, it's good for you. But I didn't notice that massive a difference on creatine. I'm sorry to burst all your bubbles. Same thing with like protein powder. It's literally, it's a food. It's not even really a supplement. It's a food. So it can replace protein, but it's like if you're getting protein already, just or enough based on whatever macros that you've determined for yourself, it doesn't make that big of a difference. So it's nothing special. Pre-workout and supplements are nothing special, and they're no substitute for the hard work and the mentality that you can build. So thankfully we did get a refund for the Gorilla Mode Nitric, so that's like a net neutral, not net positive or negative. That's a neutral fucking effect, because no, it's an expensive Kool-Aid, let's just say. Also, the taste of Gorilla Mode Nitric is so fucking bad, it's like not even funny. Rise and these other companies, they make it taste very, very good. Gorilla Mode Nitric just tastes like straight up fucking nipple hairs. It's really bad. So I don't recommend that specific product. If you like it, if you think it's fun, sure. If you can placebo yourself with supplements and they actually make a difference, sure, go ahead. It's great. And if you have the funds for them, go. But they're not an essential gym accessory like water is or shoes. So that's all I have to say about supplements, really, and pre-workout. Don't spend a lot of your time thinking about them. Now into the white category. These are most of the time bad. Gloves. What the fuck? Just go build up calluses. It's gonna hurt for like 3 weeks, and then afterwards you're gonna be bulletproof. Your hands are gonna be like bulletproofed for the gym. So gloves are just a no-go. That's a big old newbie mistake. We don't have to make fun of it that much. We don't have to like talk about it that much. Just don't wear gloves when you're lifting. Except if you have like psoriasis or eczema or something that will genuinely tear off all your skin. I don't know how those two work. So sorry if that wasn't sensitive, but yeah. If you have something that'll just fucking tear off your skin genuinely if you touch a metal bar, or if you have a special condition, sure. But that'll fall under protective gear, obviously. But just a regular person wearing lifting gloves is absolutely unnecessary. Even if you're a girl, like, bro, you're not gonna get that bad of calluses if you're a girl, unless you're like a full-on Steffi Cohen powerlifter, fucking lifting 500 pounds at like 138 body weight, and then like taking steroids so you look like a gremlin. I don't know. You're not gonna develop that bad of calluses, in my humble opinion, that you're gonna need to wear gloves, or else people are gonna think you're this like troll woman, like this ogre. It's like, that's just not gonna happen. And if you're a guy, if you're a man aspiring to be a man, the calluses are cool, the rough hands are cool. So squat pads are another thing that, like, just don't use it for squats. Man, just dig the bar into your traps. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna hurt for like 1 session, and then afterwards you're gonna be conditioned. You can't really do low bar with a squat pad. unless you're like somehow 7 foot tall and like your proportions make sense. But no, just don't. You can do low bar with it. High bar is like, it doesn't make sense to do with a squat pad. There are only 2 instances that I can think of right now genuinely where I think a squat pad can help. Also, Zerchers aren't one of them. Just do Zerchers in your elbows, right? Like I have like one big vein that's coming out of here, and I'm kind of like afraid of that fucking popping whatever when I do the Zercher position, and I'm like, it's uncomfortable to think about. I still don't do it with a squat pad because that's just how shitty a squat pad makes things. So I still just do it crooks in my elbows. So the 2 instances are, number 1, you're doing hip thrusts. If you're doing hip thrusts, please use a squat pad, because the place the bar will be on your body is not meant to like have fucking 500 pounds on it, right? I mean, the place where the bar will be when you're doing a hip thrust is not exactly meant for you to have hundreds of pounds just on that like concentrated like 2-inch diameter of a barbell. 2-inch diameter, I think that's what it is. Radiant? No, not a 2-inch diameter. That's way, fuck, you know, what am I talking about? Whatever the 1-inch diameter, whatever the diameter of the barbell is, it's not like that part of your body isn't meant to be fucking withstanding hundreds of pounds just from that point. So using a squat pad in there does help distribute the pressure and does help you lift a lot more weight, because the pain just gets unbearable otherwise. The second instance is if you're doing like the natural hypertrophy hip extension. I'm going to demonstrate this again because I fucking embarrassed myself enough this video. It doesn't really matter. Something cost fallacy. So what can I use in place of a squat pad? Oh yeah, here we are. Here's a homemade fat grip from a pool noodle. So basically, there's an exercise that NH did. Pretend there's a bar here. So you put the squat pad on here, hold the dumbbell here, and then it would basically hinge. He would do a good morning, but he would hinge over the pad. And apparently that's like a very disadvantaged like lift, and apparently it's good for the posterior chain. I don't know if he's still doing it because he kind of stopped uploading. But, well, I'm one to talk. But, I don't know if he's still doing that exercise, and it's the first time I've seen it then and since. So that's, I guess, another good use case. But the main thing you want to use a squat pad for is just hip thrust. Other than that, I think it actively hurts you. So, good lord, we got through all those gym accessories. Beautiful. Here's what to avoid, because the great here is like, it doesn't hurt you that much. These things aren't going to hurt you that much. Energy drinks over the long term are like pretty much fucking cancer causing. I think every doctor can agree. I mean, unless, actually, maybe not every doctor can agree. I'm not sure I want to say that, because I'm sure like my Dr. Mike Israel would be like, oh no, it's just like caffeine and it's just like flavorings that aren't really bad for you. But intrinsically, okay, intuitively, energy drinks are bad for you. I think I can just say that as a prescriptive statement. Most supplements, they're gonna hurt your wallet, and they're probably not gonna help you that much. If you have the spare funds for it, yeah, go experiment, go see what works. It's amazing. I haven't tried that many supplements, so I can't tell you. I take vitamin D, vitamin C for immune system, and zinc. That's pretty much the only things I take right now. And a lot of salt and potassium, but those aren't vitamins, those are just electrolytes. So most supplements after that I can't comment on, and I can't ensure that they're going to work. I can't ensure that they're going to make a difference. But if you want to do that experiment, please go ahead. It's just, if you don't have if you have limited money, supplements aren't the thing you should be spending on. So, raw gear. What I mean by this is just supporting fucking autist companies who are run by like who are run by cringe lords, and they sell overpriced products. Unless you're like a really big fan of them, and if buying them would make you feel super, super cool, like at a deep intrinsic level, it just, there's no real point to buy that. The reason Rascal is cool, Rascal apparel, is because their stuff is funny and it like fits. I have some shorts from them right here, which I will wear later. But I mean, I don't know how people show clothes on the internet. This is like it's either a medium or a large, or if they're like on their logo, wow, company, but it's a 5-inch inseam of like their bodybuilding shorts. Those make you look cool, right? And the logo is like small. It's not, the logo isn't the main focus of the thing. I also have one of their windbreakers, which is a little bit goofy because it's like a little bit like big fucking rainbow colored logo plastered on it. It's a little bit childish, but it makes me feel cool, right? If raw gear makes you feel cool, sure, go ahead. please. But don't buy something just because it's overhyped. Like, you need to think that the clothes are actually funny. You need to genuinely support the people, make sure that they're at least like morally okay in your eyes, so that you're not buying like, I don't know, the Andrew Tate sunglasses for like $120. I actually don't know how much they are, but like, you know, the Tate sunglasses. And you need to make sure you're not buying like, I don't know, Jeffrey Epstein x John McAfee brand Air Force Ones. I don't think that exists, but if that did exist, then, you know, that's one of the things you should avoid. So that's what I mean by raw gear. I also say raw gear is unfortunate just because I was outside for the Zoo Culture opening in like 2023, January 2023. Again, I was a very young lad, and I was just like, yay, I can't wait to meet all my favorite influencers. And I stood outside in the rain for fucking 4 hours, and then they closed the gym, and they said, lol, sorry, the fucking disgusting sweaty men like blew out the windows, so we no longer have any ventilation, and also the windows got blown out, so we have to close the gym, lol. That's not very nice. I just had a personal bad experience with that, so that is why I put that on there. Steroids are a categorical no for anyone who isn't professional, like world level athlete, or in the police or military, or if the steroids would like save your life somehow. If you have like some very horrendous like atrophy, you have just like a fucking androgen deficiency, it's just not good. If an actual doctor like tells you that, hey, you're gonna die if you don't take this, sure. But taking roids, taking fucking steroids, juicing, as it's thought of conventionally, just a no-go for absolutely everyone. Steroids are fucking harmful. They make you die like 20 years earlier. They make you go bald. They make you fucking psychotic. They make you angry. Not instantly and not automatically and not all the time. Obviously, I have to put the fucking disclaimer in there because there are going to be people defending drugs like, actually, there are people who have lived very good lives. Okay, sure. But taking steroids, it's not good. It's very, very much not good. Here's why. There's no natural limit. Steroids are a big shortcut, and they're going to take years off your lifespan. So, by taking steroids, you want to admit that you can't fucking grow without them. Or that, or you're just showing a very big lack of patience, and I don't think, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. I know it's a thing. It's also an argument like, hey, you can't tell people what to put in their bodies and what not to put on their bodies. Sure. This is just my recommendation, right? I can't tell you what not to do. I mean, I can't fucking go up to you force like, no, don't inject the steroids into your asshole. Sure. But I can make this video, and I can strongly recommend against it, because there's absolutely no natural limit, and in my opinion, it's so much cooler to do anything naturally than to have a drug do it for you. And also, apparently, once you come off of it, you lose all the gains, and it's not good. So, just categorically avoid steroids. I don't even... just no. Just stop. Anything that claims to be natural steroids is most likely a massive scam. So avoid that as well, because at least steroids work, right? Even if they're like not good for you at all. Like, we know they work because the fucking top athletes are taking them. Anything that claims to be natural steroids, like this terkestrone shit, it just like, fuck you. Like, just leave, please. Just train hard and eat food. Also, avoid cookie cutter programs. If you see that a program isn't really tailored to you and tailored to what you want, avoid them, please. The only exception here, right? The only exception is that if you're genuinely inspired by the person, and if you would think, this is if the program is paid, by the way. I'm not saying like you can't run anything free that's a cookie cutter, because starting strength is widely available online, fucking strongless 5x5 widely available online, bull mastiff available, everything available. Basically, what I mean is, if you have to pay like $99 for some guy to fucking write you a custom program, and it's not really a custom program, it's just like Wes Watson maxing, where it's just one of 3 templates he sends, that's not good, right? That's really not good, because it's, number one, not tailored to you, and you're gonna not learn how to program on your own. Number 2, it just like, I mean, that's pretty obviously a scam. If it's just, so if it claims to be a custom program and it's just a fucking cookie cutter, and it's very expensive, number 1, you can find that probably on like some T-Nation article, like you can find the information there. And number 2, or what number am I on? Whatever number this is, it's just cringe. Like, it's just cringe. You can program for yourself, right? You can find programs for free online. And also, you can buy programs from people that you like, but if you're genuinely inspired by them. If you don't know, here's what I'm getting at. Okay, here's the actual truth of what I'm getting at. If you don't know the guy, but you just see an advertisement, and you're like, V-Shred, get fucking abs in 10 days. Here we go. Claim, buy your custom program right now. If you see something like that, that's a cookie cutter, and you're not inspired by the guy, you don't have any emotional investment into it. You're just like, oh yeah, sure, this will work. If you see something like that, most likely not. Find someone that you get inspired by, and if you're going to pay for a program, have it be from one of those people. And that will make it custom to you, and that'll make it not a cookie cutter. Which is very nice. Now, what I do encourage spending on, quality food and drinks, number one. Quality, like, hydration, and by this I don't really mean Element, or like Prime, or shit like that. What I mean is coconut water, body armor, like electrolyte powders that you can mix for yourself. That's very good. High quality water, filtered water. Quality food is number one, because that's what your body will be actually building the fucking muscle out of. Education from reputable people. See, that's the difference between cookie cutter programs and people that you're actually inspired by. You can get, obviously, please, if you have the money, go get fucking coaching from someone who knows way more than me. But man, again, just avoid, just like watch out for the signs that I said previously. So education from reputable people, very, very worth it, because if they achieve the goal, right, and they know how to get there, you can pay the money, and then you can avoid some of the hardships on the way. You can never avoid all the hardships, but that's one of the things that if you're gonna spend money on this, if you're gonna spend money on your fitness journey, and you have the opportunity to, like, I don't know, I don't think this exists, but let's just say, hi guys, I'm John Hack, pay me $100 and I'll fucking take you through a session. It would be way more than $100 for that, but hi guys, I'm John Hack, pay me some money and I'll teach you how to deadlift. If you can learn how to deadlift from fucking John Hack, please go ahead. Like, I sometimes go to an arm wrestling, I say sometimes, I've gone twice, but I have gone before to Scott Mendelson's gym, where he has arm wrestling, and it's $20 per session, but you fucking go, you pay the $20, and there's the actual Scott Mendelson there, like the fucking world record, like, bench presser, like, Elmer Fudd looking, strongest shit, biggest shit guy, and there's like 10 other people who are like really strong, really knowledgeable. There's like, just like, oh yeah, here's this guy, here's a fucking world champion arm wrestler, and then you can you can just like learn from him, learn from them, and that counts as education from reputable people, because that's worth so much more. That knowledge is worth so much more, and you can do so much more with it than the money that you would otherwise spend on some fucking raw gear or some steroids. So value that very highly. Otherwise, a gym with a very good vibe is turbo worth it over a cheaper ghetto one. How do I know? Speakeasy Fitness. Fuck you, Speakeasy Fitness. This is a gym brand that is around Los Angeles, basically. And so I went to one of their locations for like not even a full year, because reasons, but almost a full year, basically, because they were really cheap and they had barbells. It was like $20 a month, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. You have barbells for $20 a month, sure, fucking you have nice lighting. Here we are. First of all, it's in the middle of the fucking ghetto. Second of all, the environment was so ass, because it was like dark club lighting and dark club atmosphere, to where like everything is a competition, and you're just like, I don't know, man, you're just like competing with the El Salvadorian guy next to you for who can RDL the most, and it's like obviously you're gonna lose because you're like a 16-year-old. You're like a fucking 16-year-old high schooler who just came from volleyball practice. It's just maybe a little bit of projection there on my part, but cheaper ghetto gyms are almost never worth it, except if they're if they have like an old school nice vibe. This gym did not have an old school nice vibe, like, you know, the rusty iron plates, like Blood and Guts, Pumping Iron, that aesthetic. That's obviously amazing. If you have a gym like that, amazing, go ahead. But if it's just a fucking ass gym, if it's just a horrendous gym, don't go there just because it's cheaper. Because this gym was relatively new, right? It wasn't like it has history, but some of the equipment is cheap, some of the barbells are like rusty or whatever, in like a cool way. It wasn't that. It was a new gym. It was just fucking ass. It was just horrendously managed and in a really bad area. So saving the extra 20, 50, even up to like $100 a month, it doesn't make as big of a difference as you might think. Like, it's really not worth it if you can find a gym with a good vibe that's relatively close to you, that has nice people, that has good equipment, and it makes you feel good while you're in there. It's so much more worth the extra money over just some fucking, yay, I saved $50 each month. Wow. And it's like, bro, what are you gonna do with that money anyways? You're gonna spend that money on you're gonna spend that money on raw gear because I don't know. So clothes you think are funny, this is actually, I encourage spending on as well. I put it on there in the tier list clothes because they can kind of become a part of you for the time that you're wearing them, and they can help you embody a certain mindset or a certain way of doing things. And this is very important because they can help focus. It can help focus you, and it can serve kind of the same role as tattoos, just like in a minuscule way. If you're dressed like a certain personality or like a certain character, then it can help you stay on the path to be that, and it can help you from straying, right? So if you're dressed like this really fucking cool, like, I don't know, this dark hoodie that you really like, this stealth hoodie, and this fucking jogger pants and whatever, then you can really embody that, I don't know, Sigma revenge arc, Fonk edit, like Chris Bumps. The whole gym was silent when Chris Bumps said did this, and then no one cares. But if you have those clothes on, you can really push yourself because it's just like the character you embody. Similarly, if you have on like a outfit that reminds you of people from the 1970s, fucking pumping iron era, then you can really get into that mindset. You can really crank out your reps, do all that. And it will help you way more than if you're just in street clothes. Kind of thinking to yourself like, hey, what the fuck am I doing here? Maybe your focus can be off. Whereas if you have clothes on that excite you and you think are funny and you make you look good, then you have a higher expectation placed on you. Basically, the clothes put a higher expectation on you, like, hey, this is what I'm embodying, this is what I have to perform up to. Events are super, super cool because, again, you get to meet people who are reputable, formidable, hospitable. I tried to get into an Eminem flow. I only could think of 3 things that ended in pitiable. So you can meet reputable, cool people who have been in this game for a lot longer than you, and you can, shake their hand. You can like maybe get a little bit of advice from them. You can meet these people, and however much money it is, unless it's like something crazy like fucking 30K, which almost no expo is, $30,000. Fuck me. It's gonna be worth it. Like, it's gonna be worth the $100 or $2, or even the, honestly, even like, if it's a really, really big one, even if you have to dish out like $1,000 to like go there for the trip, fly there, get the hotel, then get you into the expo, it's gonna be worth it because it's gonna be a very, very big memory. And that $1,000 is gonna shit itself away somewhere else, and you're not gonna remember it. It's just like missed opportunity, man. So if you really want to go somewhere, okay, someone almost crashed out there, very nice. So if you really want to go out there, meet these people, fucking do it. So what if it costs a little bit of money? It's gonna cost money. Things cost money in America. I know, it's cringe, but that's the way it is. So, quality coaching. This is the same thing as education from reputable people, except the education can be like something like a course from someone who you really like, and coaching is obviously one-to-one with the people. So, if you judge that these things are good, even if there's a paywall, if you judge that the person is cool, and you're like, oh, okay, sure, this will help me, it's gonna be like, it's probably gonna be worth it. And if you get scammed, you're only gonna get scammed once, because if you get scammed, then you're kind of smart, right? First of all, if you're smart, you won't get scammed. But if you do get scammed once, it's only gonna take that one time for you to be like, okay, now I know what to look out for, and I'm really fucking cautious. So even if the worst comes to worst and something does end up being a scam, that's gonna be the last scam that you fall for if you're smart about it. If you're dumb and you just keep getting fucking baited and like you keep on buying thing after thing, obviously you're gonna get scammed more than once. Unfortunate. That's not who I'm talking to here. Obviously don't do that. But quality coaching, again, if Ed Cohen goes up to you and it's like, hey, want to pay me $100 and I'll teach you how to spread your taint? Obviously you're gonna say yes to that. The last thing that I can really think of encouraging people to spend their money on is recovery. If you're super rich, then go buy a fucking sauna, go buy a fucking like infrared place, or like go buy a membership to the gym that has a sauna, that has an ice bath, that has all these things, and they're gonna make you feel nice, they're gonna make you feel cool, and they're probably gonna have some actually like proven empirical evidence, or they're probably gonna actually do something. So, but they're pretty much, I think it's pretty much in this order, except I would put events way at the top. Gym with a good vibe, quality food and drink, and events I would put at the top. And then recovery, sure, if you can afford it, go ahead. This is also like, I don't know, have some wellness shot where it's like a fucking, in someone's house, they just like blend together ginger and garlic and they sell it to you for like $3 a shot. Sure, go ahead, like, if you can afford these things on a daily basis, like Michael from GTA Juice, the green juice that he makes, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna help you recover, and it's gonna be a better use of your money than steroids. But again, none of these are really necessary. The things at the top are, again, what I would recommend is quality food and drinks, some part of the education, gym with good vibe, and events. Now, let's go to the Preta Path, which is actually the content that you consume, who you watch. Knowledgeable versus useful is... What the fuck? Knowledgeable versus useful? I thought I should... Okay, I should have written good to know versus useful here. Hold on. Wait. Good to know. Yeah. Please. Okay. So, there's a big difference in things that are good to know and things that are actually useful, and the things you can actually use. This is the biggest conflation, is that people think that every single piece of content that they see that has something kind of cool, that has some cool fact. Yeah, there's where the word knowledgeable came from, is if the person is knowledgeable, right? So basically, if the guy you're watching knows some cool facts and they like it presented to you in a nice looking package, in a nice looking way, you might think, oh wow, that's so nice, that's so useful. What you really have to watch out for is, has my life actually changed from watching this person and from implementing their things? And if not, is it because I haven't implemented their advice, or is it because their advice is fucking shit and it just like kind of sounds cool sometimes? Have I learned things that I don't apply? Yeah, that's what I just said. Basically, if your life hasn't changed from someone, they could still be a good creator, you just haven't been applying them because like the advice is hard. Are they a good role model? So think about like what you know of them personally, or like what you can imagine of them personally. Are they a good role model? Do you want to emulate them in your real life? Is this a thirst trap Instagram girl? I kind of put that in there for a meme. Obviously, if the answer to that is yes, it's probably not useful. Probably not very useful. Here's my personal analysis. Also, the Preta Path, let me explain. It's that way because, as you can see here, Jiraiya is fucking big old Rasengan over here. And then this guy's just absorbing it. And so the reason that the content you consume is the Preta Path is because you're absorbing the knowledge. Very good joke. So, here's my personal analysis of who has actually helped me. Igor Voitenko. He has been super inspirational. This is the first like really fitness YouTuber. This is the first real fitness YouTuber that I actually started taking advice from. And I started following his home workouts. And he's so, like, the advice he gives can be dismantled and can be like proven wrong a bunch, I'm sure, by like the scientific community. But something about like, you have this fucking Ukrainian guy here who's like, come on guys, let's do push-up for 10 minutes. And if you do for 10 minutes, then you will be like me. And you just do that every day. And you do become, like, you do start getting a pretty good physique after that. And it's really cool. And just the inspiration and just how simple it is. I really like it. I really like how simple and how inspirational that guy was. So, and just the mindset that Igor Voitenko is the #1 guy that like, okay, it's not optimal, but if you work hard at it, it's going to be better than optimal. Hamza. This is strikes a chord for me. This is a hard one for me to talk about because obviously his advice is super life-changing. If there's one YouTuber who will change your life, it's him. Or who will give advice that you can change your life with, it's him. The one thing that I really, really don't like, and different people say different things. Different people say like, Hamza fell off. Hamza's this advice is bad. I agree with most of what he says, but this is bad. I still think his advice, like, basically every time I follow his advice, my life gets better. Or so far that I can think of. Obviously, still use critical thinking. But 99% of the time, you're fucking, like, if you follow his advice, your life will get better. The only thing that I have, like, a gripes with him about is he tends to fall into the, kind of masculinity to Nazi pipeline, which is really fucking ass. What I mean by this is, like, people like Andrew Tate and Sneeko, they do this, like, the Islam grift. They, pretend to be Muslims, and then they say, I don't know, it's hard to talk about, but basically, when they go on Twitter and they're like, oh man, fuck these people. These people are responsible for all our problems. And there was a very famous Austrian guy who like 80 years ago did the same thing, and he wasn't a very good person, despite what these people may have you believe, he wasn't a very good person. So, this is the one thing you have to watch out for with this, is that these types, for some reason, they're really anti-Semitic. Like, they're really, like, every second video of Hamza now, and it started from nothing. It started absolutely not, like, he didn't have any sort of problem with them, whatever, and then he came back. He did his thing in fucking Bali, Indonesia, epic. He's still there, but he did. I don't know why I'm doing this. I should be doing this than this, because this makes you think that this is above the first one, which no. So early Hamza, basically no political stuff, no political commentary basically ever, and no like races, no racism, and then no anti-Semitism, and basically then a few months ago, out of nowhere, you see one of his videos, and in one of his videos he's like, he just talks about like subversion by the, it's like 4chan poll like memes, like Nazi memes, and it's just really not good. It's really not good. And you see his Instagram story, and it's like, who's responsible for the down? It's a poll, and it's like, who's responsible for the downfall in like marriages and like happiness in relationships? And it's like men, women, and Jews. It's like, what the fuck are you saying? So that's my only gripes with them. If you can somehow ignore that, amazing advice, because none of it is really related, right? He just like kind of throws that in there, and I don't know why, and I really wish he would stop. But none of the advice is fully related to things like that. I think, okay, my best guess at what happened is he just saw like a Sneeko or Andrew Tate clip where he was like, well, you see, the thing about the Jews is that they, and then he was like, these people are super smart, let me listen to them. And then he just started repeating them on his own channel. But yeah, for some reason recently, he started just shitting on Jews out of nowhere, which is very, very hard for me to hear, because a lot of my friends are Jewish, and obviously they're not out there controlling the dating market, controlling the fucking scene, doing all this shit that he claims they do. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to bring up, because personally for me, that's very hard for me to hear from a content creator who is otherwise so smart, such a good critical thinker. It just fuck you for this part. Now, next up, Chris from First Man. Chris from First Man is a combination of really, really funny and really, really inspirational and actionable. The thing that I learned from First Man is that if you keep a level head, if you keep yourself level-headed and you look in the future, then you don't need to limit yourself on what you think is possible, because pretty much everything is possible. And he's showing that himself, where he's opening multiple houses. He's buying multiple houses now for people to go stay in, to go fly to. He's organizing multiple events. So he's out there in the real world. He's kind of the side of like this internet shit that actually, the people who are in this like internet space left over from COVID, kind of this fucking wasteland, he's one of those guys who isn't in there. He's actually out in the real world, relaying the advice to us like, right, you can't go do this. And that part is just, I really like that from him. Now, natural hypertrophy. Richard, I don't think that's his name. Maybe that's his name, I don't know. Nope, nobody really knows his name. It's just some people call him Richard as like a meme. He is just really, he strikes at something very essentially European, I think. And I don't really know how to explain it. It's just a very European vibe. Maybe it's the humor, maybe it's the stories, maybe it's the work ethic, but yeah. It's just rekindled something there. I know this isn't like a Twitter, oh, West has fallen, shit like that. It's just something, yeah, he's French, and like, I think some of his family is Spanish, some of his family is like North African, shit like that. So just that part of the world, which I kind of like lost touch with, he rekindles something in there. And he really explains things easily philosophically. And you get the sense that you can learn to be in control. The educated barbarian. Basically, he strives to be the educated barbarian, so he teaches people how to train, he teaches people how to think critically when training. And he also says, okay, fucking go in there, train hard. Hello, YouTube. On today's video, we are going to be talking about how Jason Bloho has... things like that. That's not the greatest accent I can do. It's been a little bit, guys, but I promise I can do a better accent with some prep time. And Devin Larratt. Devin Larratt has been super inspirational and helped in the mindset department, right? In the not giving up department. At times where I really could have fucking given up because it's just like, oh, shit was not going well. Devin Larratt was there as just an icon in the sport of arm wrestling, getting older. He's like 50, and he's still the best version of himself. He's still training, super specialized. He taught me specialization. And just, yeah, the complete lack of fear, because he doesn't duck matches. I know there's current thing going on about like, oh, Vitaly. Oh, hello, my name is Darova. My name is Vitaly Laletin. Go pull me, Azerbaijan, Brett. But that's like more of a arm wrestling politics thing than anything else. Devin Larratt doesn't shy away from a match. And it's just super inspirational to see him get up there. It's like, he gets up on the arm wrestling table, just like fucking, and the first slip happens, and he just fucking laughs in the face of the other guy. It's like, and it's just really cool. It's just really cool. So, these are the things, there are people that I would recommend because I have personally benefited the most from them. And obviously, okay, I think Bald Omni Man can be put in there. The thing is, Bald Omni Man can be kind of put in there for, I don't know, for myself, he just doesn't strike the same chord as, he doesn't strike the same chord as these other guys. But his method of making, like, his Berserk method video inspired me enough, obviously, to make this. So, but funnily enough, I don't know, just like these guys, I've actually seen a massive change from my life. I think Bald Omni Man, he presents information in a really cool way. He presents information, I think, in the best way. In some of the best ways. Also, Alex from Alpha Destiny, he presents things in an amazing way. He makes some of the best fitness videos. I think he actually does make the best fitness videos, like the lighting and the angles and the camera. It's just very professional stuff. So Bald Omni Man and Alex from Alpha Destiny can also be put in here, but I just can't think of specific ways in which they have changed my life. On to the next part. Motivation is fucking goated. I know this is kind of like a years old conversation about motivation versus discipline. Oh, you just need discipline, you don't need motivation. Motivation is absolutely goated. It's absolutely cracked. If you can feel motivated to do something, take that. It's like the nitrous fuel, or like the NOS in your race car. You just fucking, if you're motivated to do something, go do it. Here's what motivates me. Eastern Europe, Devin Larratt edits, where it's like Sonne by Rammstein, and it's just like the same two matches over and over again, and you know what's gonna happen because each edit is pretty much the same, and the edits are like endearingly bad. Some of them are very good, but some of the edits are like endearingly bad. However, it's still super inspirational to see, because it's just like you see confrontation, a direct confrontation. And I know this is a staged one, for example, the one I'm gonna say right now, but there's an example of where Devin Larratt goes up to, I think like 2018, he goes up to like this wrestler, Adam Scherr, I think that's the name, Schérr, some shit like that, and it just shows like him fucking, it's like 2 hours into the video and I realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't be swearing this much, but basically, he goes up to him and he just fucking catches his arm, and just laughs, gets him down. And he's a much bigger guy than Devin Larratt, much bigger guy, but he just pins him, and he does this consistently. So these the reason I say Eastern Europe is because you can tell that it was made by an Eastern European because it doesn't really use memes in the same way Americans do. It has like 3 troll faces on it. It's like flashing black and white, and it's some funk music. So that's very nice. That motivates me greatly. Old school videos. What do I mean by this? Pumping Iron is one of them. Blood and Guts is one of them. These capture like the heart and soul, right? Also, Louis Simmons. Louis Simmons can be considered old school, even though it wasn't that long ago. Compared to Pumping Iron. I mean, I don't know. Louis Simmons was rest in peace. He was an old gentleman, so he was around a while ago. So he's like, all right, today we're gonna be going into West Side Barbell. I don't know. It's like he has such a nice the voice of a nice old man. That's not what he sounded like. He sounded like, all right, well, today we're gonna be doing the dynamic effort day and high intensity day. I can't exactly replicate his voice, but it was higher pitched than you would think from someone who was fucking like squatting 1,000 pounds and like deadlifting thousands of pounds. It's like Louis Simmons and the West Side guys. They were bull mastiffs. They were the original bull. They were like Tibetan mastiffs. They were humongous people. So by old school videos, I also mean like interviews from old school scientists from like the 1900s, like John von Neumann, Carl Jung interviews, Jung. Who else? I think Edward Teller, in Hungarian. Interviews from him. Basically just, these are all old school videos. These aren't lifting related, but they're more mindset related, but they really just like, you can see how these old school people were, these like old gentlemen who are now like 70 plus years old at the time of the interview. But you really think to yourself, like, man, they did such cool things, and here they are, so I can do cool things as well. Also, the Schwarzenegger blueprint to mass was like, then you did the dumbbell flies, and yeah, okay, my accents aren't on point today, but you know what I'm talking about. The blueprint to mass, which is a horrible program, don't follow it, but they have like a video series on YouTube, the blueprint to mass, where it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he talks for like a collective hour over a couple of videos, and it's like really nice. So that can also fall into an old school video under the category of an old school video. The Alex Eubank aesthetic videos really inspired me. I know it's cringe to admit because he's like a zoomer or whatever, and it's like, remember I saw waterfall, and then he does that pose, and then does like a fucking classic physique like that. And the reason I say before pinning is because he kind of injects the steroids into his quadricep and asshole maybe sometimes, which is not good. But before this year, before 2025, he was natural, and he was, I think, like the peak of natural aesthetics. I think he had a very good physique. By no means has he reached natural limit, because that doesn't exist, but he was at a very good level of aesthetics. So that's really inspiring, and see how he trains. Probably don't train like him, because he's been like hammer strength pressing like 2 plates for the past like 4 years. So maybe do more progressive overload than he has, and then you won't need to hop on steroids. But his videos are super inspiring, and just to see like how it all works, how the whole like bodybuilding thing works. The retarded simple Igor Voitenko shorts. This is what I was talking about back then. Igor Voitenko. I started watching him in quarantine, right, when shorts weren't really a big thing, but later, a few years later, like I saw one of his shorts, and he's like, okay guys, here's how to build the most muscle. Step 1, eat 4 eggs with fucking Russian bread. Step 2, go out to Chernovets and go lift log and overhead press. And he would just say things like that, like, step 3, go to Donbass region and shoot occupiers. Things like this, right? The edits like this, there's just something super simple about them, and even if you don't follow the advice to a T, because obviously he does a lot of calisthenics, you may not want to do as many, like you may not do the same exercises as he does, just the intensity that he does them with, and just the love he has for training, where he's like, oh wait, I remember, I didn't even have to make all those offensive jokes, hold on, okay, I remember the short I was talking about. It was him at like, it was an Instagram post, or an Instagram story actually, of him at like 4 a.m. or like 5 a.m. and he's 5:30 a.m. and he finished his workout either like 4:30, 5:30, some insanely early time that I don't do anymore because I'm a pussy. But he finished his workout at some super early time, and he just turned on the camera, and with his accent, with his heavy accent, he just said so endearingly, guys, not one bed, not one warm and cozy bed can compare to the feeling of going outside after gym workout. And he said that, and the whole thing changed for me. And that after seeing that is when I started waking up very early and going to the gym very early. Right now I don't go to the gym very early because I'm a bitch compared to myself maybe a few months ago. In some ways, in some other ways I've improved a lot, but it's like I've let the discipline fucking fall off hard in the past few weeks, which is not very good. And I will be self-correcting, but like there's no point in saying that right now. I'm just giving context to it. So things like that can really make a difference. Just one short of this Ukrainian guy saying things like, man, you want to stay in bed, I fuck you. It's a certain kind of, maybe if you're not really Eastern European, like you don't get the humor, but to me it's just really funny, and it's really simple, and the language is so simple that it kind of gets through to the core of what it means to do this thing, what it means to do this whole thing where you lift weights, go to the gym, go train hard. Next up is the First Man, crack on with it. I said East End London Law because I recently watched the movie Legend, which Tom Hardy plays two characters, very, very funny characters, and he also plays Alfie Solomons in Peaky Blinders. And both of those guys talk like, right, well, it's not a pipe, it's a fucking rolling pin, you're gonna fucking bake me a cake. Things like that. Again, accent's not on point today. That's also a skill I can level up, but First Man, crack on with it. What this means, Chris Sturmy from First Man is one of the funniest fucking people ever. He just gets into rants, and he just, like when he gets angry, he says the funniest things ever. Or when he gets like annoyed, where he makes himself annoyed, like he works himself up by like an imaginary scenario, and he just ends up saying the funniest things ever. So he talks about people who have no motivation, who are depressed. He would say like, I said that to my dad. I'd say, oh, Dad, I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't want to do anything. He'd be like, what are you talking about, you silly little cunt? Or something about that. So that really helps recenter you and refocus you. It's like, yeah, what are you talking about, you silly little count? It's like, how are you feeling this way? Come on, crack on with it. And crack on with it basically just means go on with it. Like, go on. Don't quit. It's where a bunch of slides ago I said, like, nie zdawajcie, chłopczyk. It means the same thing. Crack on with it. Don't give up. So these are the things that really motivate me. And yeah, maybe I'm gonna rewatch some of these, or just like incorporate these more into my life now that I've brought them more into the conscious side of things by explaining them to you here. That being said, still going on with the Preta path. So this is good to know versus useful, how to discern which YouTubers you actually want to stick to. Motivation is goated. This is why. Less YouTube equals better. For me, this is massive. This is fucking humongous. I'm the #1 YouTube autist procrastinator probably ever. I have so many tabs open right now. I have like 14 YouTube tabs open on one window, fucking 15 on another window. It's so awful. And then I end up using none of them. And then I end up putting off my work, which is why this video gets released here fucking months later than it should have been. Whereas the time in my life where I was probably the happiest that I can remember most recently is when I was in Canada for that 2 weeks. And I didn't watch that much YouTube compared to what I do now. I didn't consume that much content. I unplugged from social media. It's really important. It's really important, guys. The less content you consume, the better your life. Get your education. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. The reason I'm making this video is because I watch videos on how to make videos. I watch videos on how to fucking work out. That's why I know how to work out. I watch videos on different things. Get your education. But it's turbo easy to cope. And what I used to have here is the 80-20 rule. I was about to say like 80% of the stuff is useless, 20% of it is useful. Now I changed it to the 99-1 rule because it's gotten so fucking out of hand for me. 99% of the videos you watch are fucking useless. The 1%. Focus on the 1%. that's actually going to take you closer to your goals. Did I just get off the internet, bro? Just get off the fucking... Do your work on the internet. Do your research on the internet. Sure, get your education, I say. But it's so easy to cope. It's so easy to cope. And I'm talking to myself here as much, if not more, than everyone else. But no, as much as everyone else. As much as I'm talking to everyone else. Now we get to the Naraka Path. Here is this perfectly legal fucking lore monster. Hold on. Let me move the camera. Here we are. Here's the Naraka Path. What this guy does, basically. If one of the paths of pain gets fucking beat up, gets injured, this guy just eats him and then spits him back out. I think he also, like, takes out people's tongues and, like, makes them tell the truth or something. I don't know, something happens here. But I think the main thing that we think about here, or that maybe the human path, I don't know. The main thing that it concerns us here is the fact that this Naraka Path, this guy over here, he eats people. Like, not eats people, eats the paths of pain, and then he spits them out better. So he heals them. And, it's basically like the never-ending cycle of, like, it's basically like immortality. He gives them a sort of immortality. So as long as they're not completely destroyed, or as long as all of them are completely destroyed, he swallows them, spits them out, and then he just, like, gets them in his mouth, closes it, and then puts them back out into the world healed. This is your why. This is what will heal you when you're feeling really demotivated, when you're feeling like, fuck this. My dick is going to the gym. I'm not going to the gym. What is this? Why are you doing this in the first place? I put girls, probably. That is a humongous drive. And you don't need to be like... You don't need to be turbo obsessed with this in, like, day-to-day life, saying, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some pussy if I go to the gym. But that's a massive part of it. And if you don't, the biggest thing is, if you don't admit that to yourself, you're lying. And please don't lie. The way that I've used this is, like, sets of abs, sets of weighted sit-ups. I was like, oh, fuck this exercise. I really don't want to do another set of this. And then I would think, like, but all the ladies will think you're super cool if you do this. And then I'm like, okay, sure. And then I still do the weighted sit-up. So, wait, by the way, you're supposed to have the weight behind your neck. Hold on, let me get a dumbbell to demonstrate this. Essentially, if you have the weight like this and you're doing the weighted sit-up, pretend you're on a bench, it does basically nothing. Compared to if you have it behind your neck, that makes your abs work so much harder, and it gets you way better results. So, girls are a massive thing. Massive driver for why you're going to the gym. What I think is cool is having a humongous, fucking epic, thick, dense striated back. And big forearms that are strong and can grip things and can arm wrestle. And biceps that, like, aren't the size that they are now, because, like, what the fuck is this? This is embarrassing. So, and, like, very shredded abs and obliques to get that armor plate look. And then obviously nice size legs. Good size, defined legs. Whatever you think is cool, it could be a lot bigger than that, what I described there. And obviously a neck that's, like, fucking not what it is currently, but it's more, like, in line. It's more like this. And obviously upper traps that are, like, a little bit bigger than they are now. And obviously shoulders that are wide. That's what I think is cool. It's kind of like the Guts physique. It's the Guts and Baki, shit like that. That'd be very cool. Other people may think other things are cool. Other people may be like, shit, I want to look like a fucking sumo wrestler. Sure, go ahead. I want to look like a powerlifter. I want to be a bull mastiff. I want to go look like a mega... Jesus Olivares, the powerlifter, who squatted 1,000 pounds. I don't know if he was natural or not. I don't think so. I don't think he's that. Maybe he's not. It doesn't really matter. At that level, I don't give a fuck. But basically, or at this point, I don't give a fuck because I'm just using him for sake of example, or what people can think is cool. People can think, oh, I want to be like Adam from Record of Ragnarok. I want to have otter mode physique. I want to just be built like a twink. Whatever you think is cool, go for that genuinely, and think of that on days where you're like, why am I doing this? When I say have a long-term plan, Dutch. If you don't get the reference, Red Dead Redemption 2, the gang leader Dutch Vanderland, he always says I have a plan, and then he doesn't have a plan because he's an asshole. So be like the idealized version of him, actually have a plan. My long-term plan is being able to being able to lift a good amount of weight, right? Being able to like be good amount, have a good amount of strength. I think I need to build my wrists my wrists to be way stronger than they are, and my grip of my hands to be way stronger than they are, and also biceps. So I can go, and also like legs to be way more strong and mobile and fucking athletic. So I can go parkour and be like Corvo from Dishonored and fucking rock climb as well. To some people that may sound turbo cringe. I've gotten past the point of caring, really. Whether you think it's cringe or not, I think it's cool to be able to just move around, be a nice old parkour guy, and also be able to rock climb, be able to pull yourself up. That's what the whole back thing is for. And then obviously squats, like powerlifting is cool intrinsically, but that's not the biggest thing. So the long-term plan is just to be big, robust, aesthetic, lean, and be able to do those things. Remember this long-term plan, whatever it is for you, on days that you don't want to go. And then go. That was a long one. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I got tired by the end of that. I recorded that in like 3 parts. Yeah, I think 3 parts. Yeah, this was I think the longest I talked for like in a row on camera. It's a skill. Definitely is a skill. Definitely reduced my ability a little bit there, but thank you very much for sticking with me. And I really appreciate it. And I really do believe in this device because it's like, it sounds good, and everything in there, it sounds good, it's sound, it's solid. And if you implement this advice, you can use this as a guidebook for your training career. You can outsource it as well. If you think that something wasn't answered completely, go look at the sources I recommended. Go like, take the mindset I've given you here, go look up other people who you genuinely think will help you without fucking spending eons on YouTube. And yeah, implement these things in your workouts and your own journey. I'm just a tiny bit tired from this recording. Thank you very much. Lift on, struggler.